everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Shall we sound the alarms? Is it time to sound the alarms? I don't know what that means with the Philadelphia Phillies. Because to me, it's like every game you play is an alarm, isn't it? But we're going to sound the alarm because they lost 2 or 3 to the Atlanta Braves, and I know people are freaked the freak out. Bill Colarulo and Ray Dunn, there are people all over the Delaware Valley. I've been seeing the tweets on social media. People are scared to death right now because they lost 2 to 3 to the Atlanta Braves. And I go, I'm really not. And I know people go, how could you not be? Well, I'm not. I'm just not. I think the Phillies will be a 1 or 2 seed in Major League Baseball. I know that sounds like strange to people right now that I'm not that concerned. Here's what I'm concerned about. There's a story in today's Athletic from Matt Gelb, who has documented that teams playing the Phillies now have doubled down on their off-speed pitches since the break. So they see a lot of curves. They see a lot of change-ups and off-speed pitches that are somehow flummoxing them. I don't get that. See, if you are prepared to be a hitter and you are being coached on what pitchers are going to throw you, there's no reason for you not to hit breaking stuff. It stands to reason if pitchers are throwing breaking stuff more than 50% of the time, you should be sitting on breaking stuff. And if you're not sitting on breaking, because the breaking stuff, if you watched Schwellenbach last night, all his breaking stuff was on the outside part of the plate to right-handed hitters, right? You did see that, right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Okay, especially to Castellano, who's a sucker for that pitch like nobody I've ever seen. So if you're a hitter, that makes the job easier for you because that divides the plate. It's like, okay, the pitch is only going to come on one side of the plate, and you should be prepared to rake that pitch. This is what I don't understand about Phillies hitters. And if a guy throws you a front door breaking pitch, I salute. Congratulations. All right, you got a strike on that. I wasn't looking for that. But you're not going to beat me on a pitch that's going to break on the outer half of the plate. And that's what the Phillies hitters, I've seen them do, and that's why people are panicking. They are not hitting all at once. And Bryce Harper is not hitting. So when and Schwarber's not hitting. When your key guys aren't hitting, and the left-handed batters are seeing breaking stuff away from them also, I don't understand that part of it. So this is up to a hitter. It's not up to a batting coach. It's not up to a curveball machine. Because all a curveball machine does for you as a hitter to prepare is you know exactly where the pitch is coming. It's not like live pitching. You're not seeing a ball out of a pitcher's hand, and you're not seeing whether he can change it up with a fastball or a front door breaking pitch. A curveball machine is only going to prepare you to hit the outside part of the base, which you're not expecting on every pitch. So you got to be, if you're a professional hitter, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Mike, I'm not hitting the panic button.
Oh, yes, you are.
Let me get there.
Oh, yes, you are.
Let me get there. I'm not hitting the panic button because they lost 2 of 3 to Atlanta. I'm hitting the panic button because this has been going on now, dating all the way back to June. This team has not been a good baseball team in over 2 months. You look at their record since June 9th, they're well under 500. You look at them since the All-Star break, there's 2 teams that have a worse record than them. The Chicago White Sox, who are an historically bad baseball team, and the Seattle Mariners, who just fired their manager. So I'm hitting the panic button because when a team tries to show you who they are for long enough, you accept who they are. And this is not a good baseball team right now. That's why I'm hitting the panic button. I still think they're going to win the NL East because they took such a big lead, and they're still 6 up with only 35 to go. But this team doing something in October, my expectations are extremely low right now. And maybe I'm not going to get hurt because of it, but I just don't see this team as a good baseball team for the last 2.5 months, Mike. That's why I'm hitting the panic button.
Okay. But you're hitting that panic button, taking out of the equation that teams can cycle.
Well, they got to get – when are they going to get out of this?
Well, there's a lot of baseball left. Now, wouldn't you rather have a team that gets hot in September?
Absolutely.
Okay, these are I don't know, what do you call them? Nothing days. Even on talk radio, this is a nothing period of the year. And for baseball players, August usually is like the part of August because, these games, this is a long season. We now understand it's a long season in August. Our biorhythms are a little bit off. September's when we really have to start to play. I think good teams know that, and I think good teams will respond to that. You could be right. Maybe the Phillies team that we see now is the Phillies team that we're going to see, and we're going to be let down again. I don't believe that. I believe their lineup is too good for that. I believe they have too many good hitters in that lineup to have this kind of funk all the way through to the end. I don't see it.
So you're just hoping they're going to be able to flip that switch and then all of a sudden become a good baseball team.
I think it's a flipping of a switch. It's just it's knowing who you are as a team. They know they're a good team. We know they're a good team. We know they have a good lineup. They know they have a good lineup. They know they're good hitters. It's not flipping a switch. It's just getting back to norm.
All right, you just said they know they're good hitters.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the Matt Gelb article then.
Uh-huh.
Because since the All-Star break, 49% of their pitches have been non-fastballs. That would be the most in Major League Baseball history for an entire season since when they started tracking this only 9 years ago.
Yeah,
but yet these batters who are supposed to be so good can't figure it out.
Did you hear me blame them? In the first part of my soliloquy this morning, I blamed them for not being able to hit, but I don't think that will continue. This is the difference between you and I, or fans, or maybe even Ray. I don't know, Ray. Where do you stand on this?
Right now,
are you panicked?
I'm not panicked, but I'll be honest with you. I'm really done sitting here continuing to tell myself, "Hey, this team's great. This team's great. This team's great." I need them to start showing me this. I've gotten to a point of frustration with them where my expectation every night, I kind of have that feeling, okay, this is where they dialed up. They turned it back. Last night, I had the defeated feeling. And the defeated feeling is not something I've grown accustomed to with this group of guys. Do I think they could turn it up in October? Absolutely. I think the upside of this team still remains what we believe it was at the beginning of the season, what we believed it was when they were the best team in baseball. But right now, I've hit a frustration point where they get behind, and I don't have that feeling of, oh, yeah, this group's got it. This group's going to figure it out tonight. And that's a different feeling than I've had for most of this season.
All right. I mean, listen, it's fair, and it's fair for people to question them right now. I just don't – I don't see this malaise continuing into September. I just don't. Now here's the difference. A hitter who knows he's a good hitter, then if he's not hitting, then has to surrender to preparation. And Bill is right when you know what you're going to. Here's what Schwellenbach said. He said, I just tried to do what I did with the last time. Same scouting report. Harper and Schwarber in the lineup this time around. But watching the last couple of games, they struggle with curveballs. Later in the game, that's what I kind of leaned on. All right, well, okay, this is where preparation has to overtake your mental acuity that you're a good hitter. Because right now you're not a good hitter, and you're not surrendering to preparation. Preparation tells you you're going to get breaking pitches more than 50% of the time. So if there's a breaking pitch in the zone, it's on the outside part of the plate, you should be raking that pitch. You should be raking it to right center field if you're a good hitter. If you're a left-handed hitter, you should be raking it to left center field. That's where I blame these kind of hitters. I think they're too in their head about, well, I'm a good hitter, instead of saying, well, let's prepare. I'm a good hitter plus preparation.
In the series, Mike, and I know you've seen these numbers, Schwarber, Turner, and Harper combined for a batting average of 60 with 14 strikeouts. But it goes even deeper than that. Since the All-Star break, Harper's batting .203, Trey's batting .211, JT's batting .232, Stott's batting .222, and Brandon Marsh, my God, is batting .167. Can you even trust Marsh at this point?
No, I can't. That's where I don't have an answer for Marsh. But I have an answer for the other guys. Do you think all those guys are that kind of hitters? Those numbers that you just put out there, are they 203 hitters?
I don't, but we've seen this story before. It happened last year in the NLCS when the bats went cold.
Yeah?
So this is why I'm hitting the panic button, man.
Wow. Listen, I don't panic when it comes to a baseball team. I just don't. I know they're a good team. I know that they're going to hit. They haven't turned into bad hitters in a matter of 4 weeks. They just haven't. They just have hit a malaise, and now they've got to sharpen up their mental acuity. They've got to prepare that all these teams now are going to kill them with breaking balls. That's got to be the preparation that takes over here instead of telling themselves they're good hitters, they're going to come out of it. It's time for you to prepare to be a good hitter. Listen, that's all I'm saying.
We'll get back to this in a second, which is negative, but I want to talk some positivity for a second. Mm-hmm. Ray, how about our man Mikey Miss calling the Adam Duvall home run yesterday
Did he hit a home run last night?
I don't act like you didn't celebrate it.
I didn't even realize it. Did he hit one last night?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should have listened to him, right?
Oh, we should have. And we also had to point out on the text line already the first 3 over of 2.5. That also was in play. So
hold on a second. You didn't play. You didn't play the. Oh, you emptied the bucket.
I
on
told you
another
I
bet.
emptied the bucket on the Harper home run, so I had nothing left.
Bill, you didn't play the Duval home run for like $20.
I was an idiot
what?
and went dubs. I picked 2 errors for dubs, but they didn't give him any. Did they give him any errors?
Did you really bet? Well, Russell Wilson would have 2 errors?
Nah, I bet. I bet him to hit a home run.
See, this is the thing, right? He doesn't listen to me. Bill has it doesn't matter what I say. Bill's not going to listen. Bill has what do you have? Are you Nabali Don? Is that what they say with the hard head? Who has the hard head?
I'm Siggy.
Oh, you're Siggy? What's the Italian that has the hard head?
Probably the Sicilians.
No, it's not the Sicilian.
Maybe
it's something else.
Actually,
it's
I am
not where I'm from.
I do have family from Naples as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's Naples either. I think it's Calabrese. I think Calabrese has the hard head. I don't know. All right, here's how you get in. We're going to talk about the Eagles, too, and their 15th ranked coaching staff. 15th! What? 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Mike Missanelli Show back after this. is brought to us by. Hold on a second. My papers here. Ray stacks me up with papers. I love it, but sometimes I'm an idiot and I lose the papers.
He's a great producer, isn't
He really is. He got it all laid out for me. Window Nation brings us the 10 o'clock hour, Bill. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale, 50 on all style windows. Plus, make no down with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Well, that was smooth, wasn't it?
You're always smooth.
No, that was really smooth. I messed it up like 4 different times. All right, so I want to hear. This is only the line is only open for the panic people. Seriously,
panic?
I need to deal with the panic people. There are so many panic people around with this. We'll deal with them. I mean, you're entitled to be panicked, depending on what your viewpoint is with the Philadelphia Phillies. I happen to think I appreciate good teams. Flimsy teams that are wannabes, I always have hold on, we'll see. But good teams I have no problem with. I think they assembled a good enough team for me not to worry on August, the 23rd? I'm not worried. I'm just not worried. I saw what happened last night. There were a lot of things in that game that bothered me, okay? Number one is playing Weston Wilson at third base. I don't understand that. I really don't. Christopher Sanchez has a changeup. A lot of guys roll that changeup over, and it gets to the third baseman. And he had a lot of action last night. He's not prepared to be a major league third baseman. And I don't care about giving Alec Boehm a night of rest. I just don't. To play Weston Wilson. They've got this love now for Weston Wilson that I think is out of control, that you have to now put him in the lineup. All right? I just don't see it.
He should have been in the lineup last night. He should have been. He was batting .570 going into last night.
I don't care.
But not at third.
He is a part-time player. It's just like people think that Sosa should be in the lineup. Part-time players don't have to be in the lineup, especially at third base. You're playing him now at a position that's very important. And last night, they messed up a rundown play. And if you look at rundown play, you go, okay, somebody had to cover third base. Where was Trey Turner? Where was the pitcher? Really, the pitcher should have been there. But Weston Wilson made a fundamental mistake. He chased the runner towards the plate. You are never taught to chase the guy towards home plate because at that point, if you mess up a throw, it's a run. So Weston Wilson's responsibility to that is get it to the catcher right away. He runs him back to third base where there's not that much of a threat. He didn't do that.
But I don't blame Weston Wilson. I blame Rob Thompson. You don't put the guy at a position he's not familiar with playing.
All right. Well, but I'm just telling. I'm ultimately telling you Rob Thompson made a bad decision because he's got the mindset now that he has to put Weston Wilson in the lineup. But you can't at third base. I tell people yesterday. The guy can't be an everyday player. He does not have a position. He is positionless. So if you're going to put the third game of a series, put a positionless player at third base against a guy who throws a lot of change-ups, and you're going to get some ground balls at third base, I don't think that's the right approach.
If you wanted to play Weston Wilson last night, which Rob Thompson said he wanted to do after he had another good game the other night, why not keep Marsh on the damn bench? Or Rojas. You could put Marsh in center. You have Weston Wilson in left. Or if you want to roll Rojas, you put him in center, you keep Weston Wilson in left. But I don't see why you rested Alec Boehm last night in a very important game against the Atlanta Braves to try to win the series. You've been supporting everything Rob Thompson does. Can I at least get you to admit that was a mistake?
What did I just say?
Well, you said you didn't care about resting Alec Boehm.
What did I just say? I said you can't play Weston Wilson at third base. That's a fundamental mistake, especially with Christopher Sanchez pitching. Do I have the baseball mindset here? Can I be a major league manager?
All right, so you're with me.
I say my pitcher's going to throw a lot of change-ups, which is his out pitch, which means a lot of hitters are going to roll that pitch over to third base. He got a lot of business last night. Why would I play him at third base last night?
So, Ray, if I'm hearing this correctly, Mike Missanelli is admitting that Rob Thompson made a mistake.
He did. He did. In playing Weston Wilson at third base, he did. He said his rationale was he wanted to give Alec Boehm a night off because he's really tired. Well, you can't be tired in the third game of an important series because if you lose the game, you're now only 6 games up. You didn't really gain any ground. Like day 1, 2, or 3. So you lost a little ground. To me, you got to look at it that way. And now the curveball machine is going to come out. And the curveball machine doesn't do any good.
Love it.
The curveball machine. I am not a proponent of a curveball machine that will solve your problems when you can't see a ball out of a pitcher's hand who's throwing a curveball, who also may throw a fastball. Curveball machine does you nothing, right? Am I right?
Machine.
Is this fundamental? Am I giving you fundamentals here?
I'm learning a lot about baseball from you, Mike.
Thank you.
Love it.
Well, who is that? Who is that, Drop?
Dave Kapler talking about his curveball machine.
He brought out the curveball machine. Bryce Harper rolled his eyes immediately. Why? Because a curveball machine will get your mindset. Okay, that machine is going to throw me a curveball here. Okay, it takes the decision completely out of your hands.
Yeah, but they got to do something, Mike. They have to do something with their approach at the plate.
Let's go to Dom on a cell. Dom, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. You hate the Phillies' batting approach, don't you?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean,
talk to me about
balls, it. And they're swinging at balls, and they're letting strikes go over the plate without anybody taking a hack. And by the way, I agree, Mike. Part-time players should not be in big series, especially when they come up at the end of the game and you have somebody who's better on the bench to pinch hit for them. Am I right?
Listen, they love themselves some Weston Wilson. They love themselves some Weston. I get it. I understand it. He's in his brief appearances, he's hit. But the more you extend a part-time player into more appearances, the less you're going to get. I mean, really, you can go through baseball history. You can't overplay part-time players.
Alec Bohm was one of the youngest guys on the team. Why did he need a day off? If Nick
He doesn't need a day off in Game 3 against the Braves. That's for damn sure. He doesn't need that day off.
But the thing that makes me the most frustrated about this team is that when I'm watching them, they get into bad hitters counts so early in the count, and now they're protecting, and they got no pop anymore. How many fly balls to the warning track did we see in this Braves series because they're protecting against the two-strike at bat? And they can't drive the ball. They got no pop. I can't remember a time where I've seen Bryce Harper not pull the ball with some authority. I mean, yeah, he's not hitting the ball to begin with, but he ain't even hitting the ball with authority anymore. Nobody on this team is hitting the ball with authority because their approaches are all protecting because they're getting into bad hitters count. And it makes you want to jump through the TV.
You're absolutely right about it. Now, again, it's August. They have August swings. And we'll see what happens in September. If they continue this in September, then I'm worried. But August is a weird month for baseball players.
Well, I disagree with you in saying that I don't think that this has anything to do with coaching. I think the hitting coach is giving them the wrong information, giving them the wrong approach. That's my opinion. These guys are good hitters. Let them swing the bat early in the at bat when they get strikes.
Well, I mean,
early in the at bat.
Turner did that. And he fouled 2 fastballs off. He got 2 fastballs early, and he fouled them both off. Listen, it's really simple what they're being coached to do. Here's the data. They're throwing you off-speed stuff. They're throwing you breaking stuff, really. Once you get in that batter's box, it's then up to you. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Here's how you get in, 610-632-0975. I need to talk to all the people that are panicking. They're pushing the so-called panic button about this Phillies team. Still in first place, still going to win a division. So, I don't panic about this team, and I will only panic if it just continues through the second week of September.
All right, so that's the time limit for you. If September they're still playing this poorly, you'll panic.
By the way, I don't know if people on YouTube see me drinking water. I had a dream last night that I drank 6 bottles of water in the dream.
What's that? What do you think the meaning of that is?
I don't know, but here was the rest of the dream. I went through this really bad part of town, and all of a sudden there's these weird animals and weird ghoul people. And so as I tried to get through that part of town, the ghoul people attached to my car and somehow got in my car. So in an effort to get them out, I'm trying to push them out and do the whole thing, and I pulled into a firehouse. And the firehouse people, somehow George W. Bush was there.
It's a wild dream.
George W. Bush was there, and the fire people saw me, and they gave me the fire hose so I could get these ghouls out of my car and off my car. And when I got the fire hose, I washed them, and they were real people.
This is a strange dream.
And then I shot the fire hose up to this stairwell that led to an upper part, and I'm washing the whole firehouse because the firehouse was dirty. And I hit the door of the upstairs, and it was like a bordello with hookers coming out.
What strand were you smoking?
I don't know what the hell happened in the dream. Well, I was drinking water in the dream, 6 bottles, and so this morning, like I'm absolutely parched.
So I just Googled it.
What is it?
What does drinking water in a dream mean?
Yeah.
It says it can have many meanings, but one of them is transformation. Water is an archetypal symbol that can represent transformation, and drinking water can symbolize internalizing these moments. Dreams can explore transitional periods in life. So what I think
transitional period in life. I came back to do radio.
Exactly.
That's weird.
With your favorite co-host and producer you've ever had right here.
Yeah, and there was the note on the
He ignored
door.
that, right?
No. You're right. You guys are. That's why I ignored it. Part of the dream was that there was a note on the door in the firehouse where the firehouse people were, and it said Derek Coleman.
The old Sixers player?
Yes, it said, note for Derek Coleman, just come right in, or something like that. And then George W. Bush was sitting in a chair in front of the door later in a dream. What the hell? Where's George W. Bush get into my dream?
What'd you make for dinner last night? Did you use mushrooms in there?
I had a little eggplant parmesan last night.
Maybe there was something on the eggplant.
It's the weirdest dream I've had in a long while, man. But anyway, once I washed the ghouls, they turned into people. They were normal people. And I gave them a ride back home where I picked them up. or they latched onto my car.
Do you remember your dreams often?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I can detail them.
I don't always remember.
By the way, there's some upset Philly fans, including Bill's grandmother. Bill's grandmother, who's an avid Philly fan. What's her name?
Eleanor. It's Grandmom Ellie.
Grandmom Ellie calls Bill and leaves this message.
Billy, I am so upset with this Phillies. Why do they all have to go for home runs? Can't they just keep getting base hits? They all try to get a big home run, and then they catch it on a fly, and they're out. Why can't they just go for base hits instead of trying to get the home run all the time? Call me back and let me know why they do that. I don't know what happened to them, but I'm very, very upset. Very upset. Talk to you later, babe. Love you.
She's got the answers.
That's so classic for an older person. Like, that's such a great older person's view. They always go for home runs. Why did they go for home runs instead of singles? It's like older people say, why can't the big man stay in the post? Yeah.
Ellie's going to have a lot of feedback on these games coming down the stretch.
That is classic. Right. Well, here's the thing about that call. What stands out, like if you know me for 2 weeks now, what would stand out in my head about that phone call?
Ooh, what stands out in your head?
Stands
about
out
that
in my
phone
head
call?
about the phone call.
You did it. The approach was where you went. I thought you were going to go with the.
Bill didn't answer the call. Bill looks at his phone. Nannielli. And he asks,
What time? What time is this phone call?
Nannielli. I don't need to talk to her. And she leaves a message.
Poor grandma. Yeah. Sorry, Ellie, if you're listening.
He didn't answer his grandmother's call.
We played the voicemail before you called back.
Yeah, I haven't called her back yet either.
When did that call come in?
It was last night.
Who wants me now? Ask Grandma Ellie. Forget it.
In my
I'm not
defense,
picking up.
I was a little bit delayed on the game, on the broadcast. I DVR'd it, so I was a little bit behind. So when I get calls, I usually won't answer them because I know they're probably calling me about the game or texting me about the game. But I am sorry, Grandma Melly, if you're listening.
Yeah, he's on a 12-hour delay getting back to your phone call.
89 years old. She still watches every Philadelphia sporting event.
Billy, I'm falling and I can't get up. I'm not answering.
Now you're making me feel bad.
Answer the call, Bill.
Sorry, Ellie.
Let's go to Jackson in Phoenixville. Jackson, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jackson.
Mikey Mess, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Jackson?
Hey, man, so this power outage, happened last year, and then they got bounced in the playoffs and went golfing, and then it happened the year before, and then they, got bounced out. We're just seeing it happen again, except the season is still going, right?
Yeah.
I think I told this to Bill Calderola. So how do you think that they're going to make the playoffs or whatever mid-September? They're just going to flick a switch on and start trying?
Where are they now? Are they? Excuse me. Are they in last place? Let me check the standings. They're not in last place. They're still.
Get to the playoffs. They get to the playoffs. They're just going to flick a switch, and then now they're going to start swinging.
Well, let me ask you a question. What did they do before they played Arizona? How did they look?
I don't know. I haven't been watching them lately.
No. Last year in the playoffs, they did play a series before they got to Arizona, right?
Yeah, and then
you can't. See, this is the thing about baseball. You can't know on what's going to happen about baseball. You said they had a power outage last year in the playoffs. They didn't really until they got to Arizona. They won the first two games of that series.
They lost. And they lost at home, dude.
I know, dude. I get it, but you make it sound like
it's terrible.
Uh-huh.
The plate discipline's terrible. Mm-hmm. The starting pitching has not been. I mean, maybe they're lollygagging through this and just being like, "All right, we'll save our."
All right, let me ask you this: do you believe they're a good team?
I do. But
okay.
They have.
Okay. It is August 23rd. They're still in pretty good shape as far as the playoffs go. Am I right? This is why I need to talk to all the people who are panicking, who are pushing a panic button here.
Give me a reason why I shouldn't panic.
You just gave yourself the reason. I asked you if you think they're a good team. Right? You said what?
A BMW is a good car, but it breaks down a lot. Right? Is Micah Parsons coming to the
Let me ask you a
Eagles
question.
now?
When you start the engine of a good car, do you expect it's going to perform? More than not? I don't get what your point is here, except that you want to panic, Jackson. It makes you feel good to panic. It makes Philly fans feel really good to panic. It does. It's the bottom line is it makes Philadelphia fans feel good to panic. It is a phenomenon that I have noticed growing up here, doing talk radio, being a journalist. Philly people want to feel the panic. I can't reverse that because it's years of cement that's hardened in their brains.
It's not that you're right. There are some fans who like to panic.
Okay, did you hear? Did you hear the last guy? Well, they did the same thing. No, they didn't do the same thing last year. They went into the playoffs with a head of steam, and they won the first series pretty well, and they won the first two games of that series. You never know when hitting malaise is going to hit you. I look at this like it's August malaise.
Yeah, but you say that last August, they were 16-10 in the month of August.
Okay.
So even though it's August malaise, see, here's what I'm worried about.
16-10, is that bad?
No, it's good.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you can't just chalk it up to it's the month of August. This team's performed well in the month of August.
But you can't predict when hitting is going to go sour. You just can't predict it. And what I'm saying is it could just as easily flip around. It's hitting.
Here's why I'm hitting the panic button. In addition to all the stats I gave at the start of the show, that it's not just a series against the Braves. It's been going on since June. This team, under Rob Thompson the last 2 seasons before this year, they were playing that underdog mentality. They came out to slow starts. They had to get hot late. They go into the playoffs as a wild card team, and man, look how good they perform. This year, they're the top dog. They've been on the top of the mountain since the beginning of the season, and I'm not sure if they're able to handle it. When you talk about baseball, they start squeezing the bats a little bit tighter. I'm not sure if this team can handle being that top dog, and that's what I'm worried about.
Okay, I'm not worried at all about it. Here's some things I worry about with their comments. Like this story today from Matt Gell, which is a really good story about it's analyzing what kind of pitches that they're seeing. There's first of all, why does Nick Castellanos bothers me? I don't know what it is. He's just like, you ever see a player, you look at a player, and you go, hey, that guy bothers me. I don't know why it is. But
you don't like the buttons undone?
I don't know what it is about him that turns me off, but he turns me off somehow. He says last night, he goes, I think you're talking to the guy that sees the most breaking pitches in all of Major League Baseball. Last time I checked, that was me first and O'Neill Cruz second, which is accurate. He sees the most breaking pitches. So he says then, so I mean, it's one of those things. No, it's not. It's not one of those things. If you see the most breaking balls in the league, then you should be a better hitter against a breaking ball. This is what I don't get. And now here's what Stott says. Just looking at the Minnesota series, it was changeups and sliders first. And then you're like, all right, I got to wait. I got to slow down. And then they throw you the heater. And they're throwing 90, 91, and it felt like 100. Well, see, this is the problem. When you go, if they're changeups and sliders first, then the hitting mantra usually is, sit on fastball, adjust to a breaking ball. The Phillies have to think the opposite now. This is why they make it too difficult. When you're saying that, when Stott says, well, looking back to Minnesota series, it was change up and sliders first. Well, then you're ahead of the game. You know what they're going to throw you.
So you're saying this. You're here. You're talking sports, 1044. Rob Thompson lives with this every damn day. Kevin Long lives with this every day.
Rob Thompson says, just slow down a little bit. Try not to do too much. Use the field. Those things I always talk about. What more can Rob Thompson or Kevin Long tell a batter when they go through pregame preparation, when they give them the statistics, and at that point, as a hitter, mentally, it's up to you. What else is Rob Thompson going to do to make these guys hit?
I think you're giving too much of a pass to coaching.
I just asked you, you never answered the question.
What else can he do?
You never answered the question. Well, answer the question.
You're assuming that Rob Thompson has took these guys aside and told them what exactly they need to do.
What do you think the preparation coaches do with them is?
Then how come they're not doing it?
It's up to them. At that point, it's up to them. What do you think Kevin Long is saying? Hey, fellas, come here. Pregame meeting. We have our assistant hitting coach in here. Hey, listen. Don't even worry about it. Just go up there and expect fastball. Or is Kevin Long going, well, listen, man, they're throwing you breaking stuff 55 to 60% of the time here. And chances are they're going to pitch backwards against you, where they're going to throw changeups and off-speed breaking stuff early in the count. What more can they do? Don't you think those coaches are telling them that?
So then the way you would manage if you were Rob Thompson is saying, well, I told them, and they're just not doing it.
What do you want him to do? Do you want him to go in? Let's stand behind my hitter. I'm going to hug him, and I'm going to hold the bat with him. Okay, and then we're going. What do you want him to do?
So then, under this mentality,
baseball is you against a pitcher.
So
your mental acuity against the pitcher's mental acuity. If you've got an edge that says they're going to throw you off-speed pitches, more likely than not, then what can a manager or a coach do?
Okay, under this mentality, then why should any manager or coach ever get fired? Well, I told him. He didn't listen to me. I told him. Nick Sirianni. Oh, well, I told them how to go against the blitz.
You still have not explained to me.
Job.
You still have not explained to me why this is the manager's fault that they don't hit. Why is it? Why? Because you just want to blame a manager here? Like what? Connect the dots for me here, Bill.
I am not putting all of the blame on the manager, but what I'm saying is the way you're reacting is that Rob Thompson shouldn't do anything. That he should just sit back and be calm.
I want you to tell me what he should do.
If he tells a player...
I'm going to be calm now.
Okay, if he tells a batter, according to you, and we're assuming this, that Rob Thompson and Kevin Long have sat down with these batters who have struggled since the All-Star break and told them how to approach at the plate the pitches they're getting, and they're not doing it, then bench their ass, Mike. If you're going to tell me that Kevin Long has told these guys what to do and they're not doing it, they should be benched.
Okay, so where's the replacement? How is that for the greater good? Let's take Trey Turner, for instance. He's been hitting at a lot of 2-strike counts. Why? I don't know. He's missing fastballs that they throw him early to count, and he's succumbing to breaking pitches. He has seen off-speed pitches 56% of the time after the All-Star break. He is hitting 234 on off-speed pitches since July 19th. So what are we supposed to do? You're supposed to bench Trey Turner? Let's bench Trey Turner and let's play Sosa every day there. Is that what your solution is?
What's your solution? Nothing?
I don't know. Baseball is a weird game where you when you say stuff like bench a guy, it's just you're just throwing it out in space. It doesn't help you to bench a guy to teach him what? The stuff he already knows? He already knows this. Benching him is going to put it in his head that more? So I don't get it.
What's the manager's job then?
This is like such a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, let's bench him then. You can't bench, guys. You got a 5-man bench. You got a 5-man bench in baseball. You don't have a lot of replacement parts.
You're saying that these players are not listening to what Rob Thompson and Kevin Long are telling them.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever taken a golf lesson?
Oh, too many, man.
Okay.
Too many.
You have taken a golf lesson. Once you tee the ball up, you get in your stance, what's going through your head?
I'm hoping one swing thought, but sometimes too many swing thoughts.
Okay, and then what happens when you realize that you can't implement the changes to affect a better swing? What do? You go back to what?
You go back to your bad habits.
You go back to what you know.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what it's all about. So you've got to be mentally tougher in this kind of a situation.
There's a big difference,
It's really simple
though.
as that. And here's what I'm saying. Good players will eventually go back to that. That's why I have faith in the Phillies. They're not a bad team. Like, these guys are all accomplished professional hitters. That's why I'm not panicked.
And that's what I was going to say is the big difference. I'm not making $600 million to golf, and I'm a terrible golfer. So that analogy doesn't work.
It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. When you step in the batter's box, you don't go, I make $30 million a year, so that's going to help me hit. That doesn't help you hit.
But how come? Here's the only thing I don't understand.
Help me out here. Right.
I just don't understand how you want him to do nothing.
Bill, if you would give me a better solution, a solution to cure a hitting slump, then I would love to hear it, because everybody on earth who ever played baseball would buy it.
Bill, if you asked me to play a piece of audio 6 times, and I just played the wrong piece of audio 6 times, is it your fault for asking me to do the right thing and me doing the wrong thing? The managers are sitting there with information. I can guarantee you there's 25 people in the analytics department with numbers upon numbers upon numbers upon numbers about what they're seeing, where they're seeing it, why they're seeing it, what teams are doing to them. That's being presented, and it's all whittled down to the specific player. Hey, this is what you're seeing. Hey, this is what you're getting. This is all the information we're putting in front of you. They're not doing this in terms of a lack of coaching, a lack of information for the players. The players just aren't doing their job. They know this stuff is coming. The article from Matt Gelb clearly states all of them are aware of the problem. They see what the problem is.
Bench them.
They've got no answer to the problem.
Let's bench them, and let's fire the manager, because that'll change things.
We got that tweet, by the way.
I don't think they should fire the manager. But what I'm saying is what's the purpose of the coaches then, according to you and Ray?
Let's go down. Castellanos sees the most breaking pitches in the league. You want to bench him?
He's actually been one of your better hitters.
Okay. You want to bench Turner?
What I'm saying is you said
you want to do something.
You're saying that Rob Thompson and Kevin Long are telling them what to do and they're not doing it. That's my problem.
They have 1,000 coaches on that staff. Do you think they're bypassing the most obvious statistic? Seriously.
I think you're giving too much of a pass to the coaching on this one, man.
Oh, my God.
They got to do something else.
610-632-0975. We're back after this. That was Trey Turner dismissing it. We have a good mind. I don't think they have a good mindset. I got to be honest with you. The mindset's the weakest right now. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. It is 11 o'clock, and we are fretting about the Phillies. A lot of people are fretting. We have a lot of texts we'll get to in a second. Just let me start this off here by inviting all the people who are panicked to call, because this is you don't ask for Bill when you call. You ask for me. I'll put you on the sofa, and we'll talk this out. Yeah. Bill wants to do everything, but I don't know what he wants to do. Frankly,
everything's going to be all right.
Something. See, here's the thing. Here's the difference between football and a baseball guy. As a football guy, you are used to a coach really getting in your grill, and to the point where maybe he'll grab your face mask to get into your grill, and that's your frame of reference. You can't understand when things go wrong how a little jolt to the face mask wouldn't fix it. And what I'm telling you is that baseball is completely the opposite of that.
I understand that completely. And if we were just looking at the Braves series, I would be with you. If we were just looking at the last couple of weeks, I'd be with you. You're going all the way back to June now that this team hasn't played 500 baseball. So for us to just sit here and say, well, the coaches are telling the players, now the players just have to do something. I agree the players have to do something, but there's a reason you have a manager. There's a reason you have a hitting coach. There's a reason why there's guys on that bench that need to do something. I'm sick and tired of sitting here saying, oh, it's just baseball. Everything's going to be okay.
Matt Gelb wrote this story today. Opponents have thrown Phillies 29% fastballs in the strike zone, the second fewest in baseball since the break. The Phillies have slugged 480 on those in-zone fastballs. They've slugged 359 on off-speed pitches. So does Matt Gelb know more than Kevin Long? Is Matt Gelb revealing a statistic that Kevin Long is not revealing to them? Maybe we'll get Matt Gelb down there. Hey, Matt, I tell you what, before the game, before you set up your little computer, let's go down and talk to the hitters and give them that statistic. The Phillies players don't know that already.
Let me ask you this.
You see, he never answers
Kevin
the question.
Long with a cup of coffee this morning. What? We're seeing off-speed pitches.
Kevin Long comes in. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what to do. Should I call? Matt, can you come down?
Under this rationale, why should any manager or hitting coach ever get fired? And I'm not calling for Rob Thompson to get fired. Please, don't take this the wrong way. But for both of you acting like there's nothing that these coaches can do, there's absolutely nothing they can do,
Bill,
then why should any coach ever get fired?
Never answer my question. The statistic is obviously what the hitters know and what they're being told. So, again, the notion of sit on a fastball, adjust to a curveball, adjust to an on-speed pitch does not apply. Fellas, listen. They're throwing only 29% fastballs in the strike zone. If you have to take a fastball in the strike zone, you take it. But now we have to sit on the off-speed. And when we adjust to the off-speed and we start doing that, then they have to readjust to us. It's really this should make it easier for them. It should make it easier for them. If opponents have thrown the Phillies 29% fastballs in the strike zone, that should make you such a better hitter. It's not even funny.
We're talking about the stats that Gelb's giving are since the All-Star break. So you're talking 31 games, right? It's been 31 games since the All-Star break?
I don't understand what your rationale is that these coaches aren't telling them the same things that we're talking about now. Like, this is the thing that's getting me about you. What are you missing? Do you think that what do you think hitting coaches? They have an assistant hitting. They have two assistant hitting coaches and a main hitting coach. They have a manager. What do you think they're telling the players? What? Nothing.
I don't know. I don't know what they're telling them, because if you look at the lineup,
seriously, let's be adults about this.
I'm trying.
These guys have a professional job. Kevin Long's been a hitting coach for a lot of years. Do you think he is not revealing this information?
Here, he probably is.
Okay. Thank you for answering the question.
But if
you never usually do,
because here's where I'm having a hard time following your line of reasoning.
Yeah.
You think this lineup is good enough that you're not panicking,
right?
With guys like Harper and Turner,
because they're
and Schwarber
professional hitters.
Okay, professional hitters.
Yes.
But then you're also saying that the coach is telling these professional hitters how they should approach their at-bats, and they're not doing it.
Correct. Just kind of like the golf analogy I made to you.
But these are professional hitters. I'm not a professional golfer.
Yeah. These professional hitters sometimes get so drunk with their ability, they think they can do everything, and they don't have to pay attention to the fundamental when they get in there.
So
it's up to them. It's their mindset. They need to have somebody to twist a ratchet set, just to twist whatever is going astray up there. Baseball is just so mental, Bill.
So what would you do?
I think all these coaches basically are irrelevant. They can only give them so much. A pitching coach can only make a pitcher so much better. A hitting coach can only make a hitter so much better. At the end of the day, it's mano a mano.
So
that's
what
all
would you?
Baseball is.
If you're Rob Thompson, you're doing nothing. You're just going to sit around and say it's all going to be okay.
What do you want me to do? Yell at them? Like what? Give me what they can do. You're not giving me an answer. You said earlier in the show, bench him. Okay.
Well, if you're not going to listen to you,
how's that make you better? You're going to bench Trey Turner. How's that make you better? Let's be realistic about this. It's one thing to be a macho coach. I'm going to bench him. And it's another thing you weaken your lineup.
The last time they sat Turner down for a game, they won 4 in a row.
Okay, so you want Turner sat.
I don't know if it's Turner. I don't know what
First game
it is.
against Kansas City, you want Turner.
Change something up.
Okay.
Change something up. And when I say change something up, it's not take your best hitter in Alec Boehm and put him on the bench and put a guy that doesn't play third base at third in a must-win game in a series.
Yesterday you were all about Weston Wilson.
Yeah, put him in left.
Wasn't he about Wilson yesterday?
Not in place of Alec Boehm.
I don't think any of us took that plot twist.
No. Weston Wilson deserved to play last night, but not in place of Alec Boehm.
Oh, for Marsh, maybe.
Oh, boy. Let's go to the text board. Ray, what do we have with it? What do they say?
All right, this is a 6-text chain here from Jay in Westchester, so bear with me here.
Okay.
Why does it seem like when one of our teams does something, they all follow suit? The lose in the chip, the Phillies lose, the Eagles lose. Then we have a major collapse with our Eagles, now the Phillies. How is this reality? Watch a Kyle Schwarber at bat. He will get 6 backdoor sliders, either fall in the middle of the plate or the outer part, and he'll take every single one despite watching 6 of them in a row. He absolutely sucks. They all suck. They should fire all these hitting coaches they have. If the Phillies have any consistency, it's that they consistently go into these absolutely ridiculous slumps that are unheard of. At this point, fire Topper and bring in Dusty Baller. Wait, correction, Baker.
Now that's a little extreme, even for me.
That is such a Philadelphia fan. That's amazing. What else do we?
What was that guy's name?
That was Jay in Westchester.
Jay in Westchester.
Mike, do you realize how long he had to sit at his phone to type all that?
Yeah, it's just venom. Schwarber walked twice last night, by the way. He got on base at least. He was 0 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. All right, give me something else.
We got 3 texts in a row here coming from Don in Oklahoma. It's really hard to keep answering the "is it time to panic" question. I feel like we were all over this team's performance over the course of the last 2.5 months. This team has too many good players to not be able to recognize they're better than what they are showing, but we need to see that from them, and it needs to happen now. No panic. This is reality, but it can be fixed. I'm going to Kansas City this weekend. I need to see a sweep personally. Weston Wilson never should have been in the game last night. If anything, you were going to rest someone, should have been Marsh and put him in left field instead of third base. Boehm needs to be in the game.
I agree. I don't know that's especially with Christopher Sanchez pitching. So I went to a higher level than Rob Thompson did last night regarding the defensive alignment, playing Weston Wilson at third base. Turner was 0 for 4 last night, and he grounded into a double play. Now, Gio Urshela had a great defensive night for the Braves last night. I don't see any world where Trey Turner should ground into a third base double play. I just don't see any world. And I don't see, if you want to pick on something, to me, maybe he didn't bust it. I don't know. I'd have to look at that at bat. But I find it hard to believe that he could ground into a third baseman double play.
But you wouldn't do anything about it.
In that kind of a situation, maybe I would say, Trey, did you give your best on that? Like if I was the manager, I would say, Trey, did you run that completely out? And if he said, yeah, I did, I go, okay. Well, I just put the thought in his head. Mike in Exton, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
Hey, Mikey Miss, a long-time listener, pal.
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Hey, good. We're going back to the days with you and Steve, so I'm so glad to hear you're back.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, pal, so I'm definitely on the panic bus or the panic train, whichever one those lead. I mean, I'm on it.
I like it. I like the fact that you're on it. This is why you come to Mikey.
So here's the thing, Mike. The Phillies haven't looked like themselves since that Dodgers series, really, right?
Yeah.
Because even the A's series after that ended on a sour note. I think they lost like 11-4. So they haven't looked themselves at the Dodger series. What do you do in times of crisis and adversity? You look for leadership. Topper, I'm going to come at you from a different angle. Topper, I mean, his game time decision making, his in-game decision making, his decision to put Alvarado in high leverage situations like he did Kimbrel in the playoffs last year. Those are the things that come back to bite him, right? Don't take Bohm out. The guy's young. Take Marsh out and put Wilson out there. You could put Sosa at third base. Probably wouldn't have made a couple errors last night. So it's those types of decision makings that even the novice baseball, or guy who played in high school can see, like, this guy's decision making more than half the time just looks bonehead.
All right, so Marsh, a left-handed hitter against a righty last night. So you wouldn't have played Marsh? You would have played two right-handers. You would have played Weston Wilson and Rojas?
Wilson had the hot bat, so why not play him? Right? Wilson had a hot bat. Keep him in.
Yeah, and he did what last night against the right-hander?
Well, right. But I'm just saying, the analytics people that are talking to Topper, if you look at what he does with pitchers, just leaving pitchers in the game too long, or two walks past when he should have pulled them, things like that. He's almost loyal to some of his guys to a fault. And
well, I would agree with that. He's certainly loyal to Castellanos to a fault, not giving him a day off ever. But I don't think that he has made erroneous decisions with his pitching staff. I just don't. Now, last night, Weston Wilson in the lineup struck out 3 times against a curveball pitcher. And we'll analyze that after this. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Boy, the Twitter poll is humming, too, and our text board is humming based on the Phillies last night. Losing 2 of 3. I thought they would win 2 of 3, so they didn't win 2 of 3, so I'm pretty disappointed. I'm looking at the game last night. They struck out 14 times last night. Now, this goes to the whole thing that we're talking about. They're striking out on off-speed breaking stuff. So when you strike out 14 times, what does that tell you? That tells you that you're not listening to the statistical reasoning on why you're striking out. It's really simple. Weston Wilson struck out 3 times last night. And every pitch that he struck out on was a curveball. On the outside part of the plate. Marsh struck out 3 times last night. Harper and Castellanos struck out twice. Schwarber struck out. 14 strikeouts is ridiculous. But the only reason you're not going to get struck out on fastballs. You're striking out on breaking stuff. I don't understand how the mental acuity of a hitter can strike out knowing what he's going to get. That's what I don't understand. That has nothing to do with Rob Thompson. That has nothing to do with Kevin Long. Now, I know it's an easy thing to do, to blame somebody like whether the manager needs to be fired. Let me read this tweet from Mike Mann. Seattle just fired their manager. Phillies need a shakeup. It's time to fire Thompson and bring in an old-school manager to save the postseason, or else this team goes nowhere. That's idiotic.
We agree on something now, Mike.
Oh, we do? Whoever Mike Mann is, you're an idiot.
I would not fire Rob Thompson. I'm not calling for Thompson to get fired. That would be a ridiculous move at this point. But I do want to see him do something, Mike. He's got to do something. See, this is where you and I disagree. You're talking about how many times they're striking out. You don't like their approach at the plate either. Well, at the end of the day, then, you need to do something, right? You can't just say, all right, Rob Thompson's going to, I told them. Yeah, me and Kevin Long told them.
I'm asking you to give me what you would do. This is what I have asked you 4 times now. You said
shake up the lineup.
Do something.
Do something.
Give me something. Give me the bill plan.
Shake up the lineup a little bit.
What's the bill plan, Ray?
Maybe sit a guy.
No, don't give me generalizations. I need specifics from you. Specifically, tonight, game 1, Kansas City. What are you doing? Bill, you got the card. You got the lineup card.
All right, well, I'll tell you this. All right, Alec Boehm's back in the lineup.
Back in the lineup.
There's no doubt. Who's on the mound for the Royals tonight, Ray?
Michael Wacha.
Lefty or righty?
Right-handed pitcher. What's he doing this year? He stinks normally.
He's actually a solid.
Is he solid? Yeah, he started out like he was going to be a really good pitcher in this league, and he hit a wall.
I think all 3 pitchers they're going to face have pretty decent ERAs, if I'm not mistaken.
Kansas City's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you. Okay? Plan the series. Go ahead. I want to see what you would do.
Let's take
you
a
have
look.
You have 5 men on the bench. 5 men on the 26-man roster. Go ahead.
I know it doesn't make sense analytically to go righty on righty. I think I'm keeping Marsh on the bench. The guy strikes out too much. I'll roll with Weston Wilson in left.
Oh, my God.
Keep him on the bench. You'd rather have Marsh?
Oh, my God.
What's your plan? Is to keep rolling out Brandon Marsh?
Struck out 3 times against a right-handed pitcher. You're going to stick him back in. You put him back in the lineup.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he's got a lot hotter of a bat than Brandon Marsh.
He's playing left field.
He's playing left.
He's got a hot bat against lefties. Like, he doesn't have a hot bat against right-handed.
Neither does Marsh.
But you're making it. Well, he's got a hotter bat. No, he doesn't. He primarily plays against left-handed pitching, but you're going to start him against the right-handed tonight in left field. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't trust Brandon Marsh.
Go ahead.
And it sends a message.
So Rojas and Weston Wilson, 2 right-handed batters, play tonight against Wacha. That's what your solution is.
Yeah, I'm changing it up. Listen, you got to do something.
You're changing it up for the worst.
Let me ask you, how can it get much worse, Mike? How can it get much worse?
You can't, but you just got to trust players. You can't, overmanage now. Yeah, okay, I'm going to overmanage. I'm going to stick Weston Wilson. I'm going to play against my philosophy. And I'm going to have 2 right-handed hitters who can't hit against right-handed pitching. We're going to put them again.
Wait a second. He did it last night.
How did it work out?
By sitting Alec Boehm.
How did it work out for him?
Well, now I'm going to use your line.
He changed something last night.
Well, now you're going hindsight.
He changed something.
You're doing
he
it
put
after
Weston
the fact.
Wilson at base. How did it work out?
That was an idiotic move. That was an idiotic move by Thompson. You don't put him at third.
Okay, but you're coming back with Weston Wilson at left field.
Yes.
Even though he looked terrible against a righty last night.
I'll go with Wilson in left, and if you want to keep the Brandon Marsh going against righties and put him in center and let Rojas sit on the damn bench tonight.
Okay, so you who are you playing in center?
Either Rojas or Marsh, but I'm keeping Weston Wilson in the lineup.
Okay, Weston Wilson plays center. So you got to do something. You got to tell me. You're going to play Marsh in center field now?
Cal Stevenson's still out there.
You got
man.
Cal Stevenson. You got Marsh as left-handed hitter.
Send a message.
Or you're going to play Rojas. I want to know what Bill's doing to change it up.
I don't know. But listen, here's the thing. I'm sitting here. There's a reason why I'm talking sports on the radio. I'm not the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. It's up for Rob Thompson to figure it the hell out.
But you are slamming the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies for not doing something. This is why I've asked you to do something. What you're doing is you're going to play Weston Wilson again tonight against a right-handed pitcher in left field. Okay. At least you gave me something. But now you're ambivalent about center field because you don't like Marsh. You don't want to play Marsh. But the alternative is to play Rojas or Cal Peterson.
Well, now we could go all the way back to the trade deadline. I don't like this outfield as it is. Maybe Austin Hayes will help things out when he comes back.
Okay, all righty.
They got to do something, Mike.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have
you.
all the answers. I'm not Rob Thompson.
I know. You keep saying they got to do something. I don't believe they have to do anything except hitters have to figure it out. That's what I believe they have to do. When you start overreacting, that sends a bad message.
But how is it overreacting when you are the third worst team since the break?
To play Weston Wilson in left field tonight against Michael Wacha. That's overreacting. 610-632-0975.
You're underreacting.
Mike Missanelli Show continues after this. The year is coming your way. That's right. And we have a ticket raid going on right now. That's right, 97.5, the Fanatic Fan Fest 2024 with FanDuel. Saturday, September 28th at Xfinity Live. Online ticket raid is going on right now. Just go to 97.5thefanatic.com. All the Fanatic hosts, celebrity guests, Philly sports legends, activities, games, prizes. 975thefanatic.com. You have all the info, and right now you got a ticket rate where you can get tickets to the big party. All right, we are busy talking Phillies, but we will get into the Eagles in a little bit because we broke we didn't break it, but the news broke yesterday that the Eagles made a trade for Jahan Dotson, and a lot of people are loving the trade. A lot of Eagle fans loving it. Now we remember being a star at Penn State, so that might influence it a little bit. He hasn't really, for a first-round pick, really turned it on in the NFL yet. But there are a lot of people that think as an Eagle, with the two main guys that the Eagles have, that the Eagles now have the best receiving core in the league. And I agree. I think he's going to be a major asset in the slot. And they won't play him in the slot all the time. He's the guy that can also go outside. So that's a very versatile acquisition for the Eagles. And we'll get into this in a second. But we're also going to get into the fact that the Eagles coaching staff, who did this rating? Who was this ranked by? Ranking
Solak on ESPN.
ESPN ranked the 32 coaching staffs in the NFL. The Eagles fared right in the middle. That does not comfort me. Here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. Let's go to the HR Godfather in Jersey. What's up, Godfather? How you doing?
Ciao, Michele. It is wonderful to have you back. I don't always agree with you. I agree with you most of the time, and I love the fact that we've got a guy on Sports Talk Radio now that does do second-level thinking, like, why play Wilson at third base when your guy on the hill throws a lot of ground balls?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You see, I don't know. See, that is a change that doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't.
Yeah. I think anybody that has played baseball at any level, high school, college, knows that it's one of the most difficult things in the world. It's a game of streaks. I agree with you that eventually the Phillies hitters' performance is going to match what's on the back of their cards. They're going to figure it out. They will get back to being the hitters that over their careers have been. My biggest concern is our bullpen. I think we're solid with four guys in the rotation. I can't stand Tawan Walker as a pitcher. He's way over the hill. But I am worried about our bullpen. I don't think we have the horses in the bullpen that we have. The one pickup we made, that's good. I don't think we did enough in our bullpen at the trading deadline. Your thoughts?
I agree with you. They're a little thin right now. But again, the Alvarado is the whole key. And I have seen him go through these kind of lulls, and then he comes back and he's fine. So I'm not going to panic yet. There's no reason for me on this date in August to panic about the Phillies when they're still in first place. You know, and I just don't see that there's a collapse happening where they have to go into a wild card situation in the playoffs. And even if they go to a wild card situation, I'm not that worried about it. I know what a good team is, and I think we take a good team for granted when we know they're a good team, and we force panic.
We certainly are not as good a team as we started this season, and we should have never expected that we were going to play at that level for 162
I get it, but you also have to measure it against everybody else. Like the assumption here is that no other team goes through these kind of lulls. And you got to evaluate what baseball is. All teams will go through lulls. So I'm looking at it, I go, okay, what team can rise up and like Milwaukee? No, they're gonna eventually come back down to earth. The Dodgers are solid; they're a good lineup. The Phillies are solid; they're a good lineup. I expect both of those teams to be the buys. I don't see anybody else that's gonna. Even the way the Phillies are playing, I don't see any other team that is going to actually rise above them.
You just said even if they have to play in the wild card, that you wouldn't consider that a collapse.
Nope.
See, to me, if they are playing in the wild card round, winning the NL East,
It's tenuous now. I mean, Milwaukee's right there, so it's like, okay, it could go either way.
Yeah.
Either the second seed or the third seed.
that would be a pretty big collapse.
I don't know. But again, as the third seed, is it that big of a deal? You continue to play baseball. There's this adage that when you sit out, it's actually worse for you. I don't know. To me, you're okay. You're still okay for your wild card team.
But you talk about these lulls. Since the All-Star break, which is no small sample size now, and you're talking about other teams, only the White Sox and the Mariners have been worse.
I get it. You can point to these statistics all you want. It's not going to change my opinion.
But isn't it what they are right now? Well, isn't it what they've been over the last 3 months?
It's what they are in September. It's not what they are right now. It's what they are in September.
But you keep
we'll
saying
see.
you keep saying they're still in first place.
They are.
They're only in first place because of the way they played baseball in April and May. Not the way they played baseball in June, July, and August, Mike.
Doesn't really matter. They're still 6 games up. They're not going to lose that lead.
They won't lose that lead.
They're not going to lose the 6-game lead. They're not. No.
I'm with you on the NL East.
The Atlanta Braves aren't a good enough team to make up 6 games. Now, they made up 1 in this series, okay?
I'm
you know
with
how
you.
hard it is to make up 6 games? The Phillies would have to totally collapse, and the Braves would have to play above their heads. The Braves aren't that good right now.
I declared the NL East over weeks ago. I still stand by it. I don't think the Braves can catch them in the NL East. I'm not concerned about that.
Okay.
But you would agree the goal isn't just to win the NL East. The goal is to win the damn World Series.
I don't think you're going to be happy after tonight either, to be honest with you. The Kansas City Royals are minus 145 tonight against the Phillies and Taijuan Walker. You're not going to be happy tonight either.
No,
Now, you won't get to express it on Saturday morning.
I got to do the Eagles pregame. Maybe we'll talk about it during that.
You might be able to do it then. John in Abington, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. John.
Michael, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And you remember that show, don't you?
Cotter?
That's correct.
Oh, yeah. Gabe Kaplan walked into my TV shot at the 2000 NBA playoffs at the Staples Center.
There you go.
Cotter. What's up?
Yeah. Mike, at Philly, I'm sorry, man. I happen to agree with Michael. I mean, the bottom line is you need to let these guys work it out. You can't fool around with the lineup. Move this guy up. Move that guy down. All you're going to do is mess their heads up even worse. Their heads are already messed up, but the bottom line is they're professionals. That's the reason why they're there. You and I could never play ball as a professional. Never. These guys are pros. They're going to work it out. They're going to start hitting the ball. They're going to start winning. You can't have the manager. Listen, as long as he don't panic, I could care less what the fans do.
Bill wants him to panic, you see. You got to do something, is what Bill is saying. Now, there's a lot of people that believe that. A lot of people believe. Like, I just read a text where a guy wants Rob Thompson fired for crying out loud.
That would be panic. That would be panic.
That's okay. They're allowed to panic, Michael. They're fans, right? We're fans.
Yeah.
The bottom line is don't let the players panic, because if that starts to happen, it is going to be a collapse. The bottom line is you need them to set it and forget it. Don't start moving these guys around. That's why, Thompson is getting pressure from fans, from the media, from reading, maybe the radio. All of a sudden, he puts Wilson in at third base and takes Bohm out, who's batting .297, leading in doubles.
If I was a manager, I would never overvalue a role player.
Exactly.
I would never. Like, if Weston Wilson could bring me his resume, and I would go, okay, yeah, but you're only going to play I'm not going to play consecutive days. I can't.
But look, I'm with you in agreement that Weston Wilson shouldn't have played third, but let's not pretend like the
You
reason.
want him in the lineup tonight?
Yeah, because let's not pretend like Weston Wilson's the reason this team's losing games. They're losing games because they're superstars.
Love yourself some Weston Wilson. You love Weston. Why do you have such a love for Weston Wilson?
I don't, and I'm with you.
Ray, does he love him?
He is not an everyday player.
Bill loves him.
You go with the hot bat.
Bill
The guy
loves
was
him.
batting .570 in the last 7 games.
Bill's love list. Number 1, Sirianni. Number 2, Weston Wilson.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's the Bill love list.
Listen to me. The reason this team has struggled isn't because of Weston Wilson. The team has struggled because you're superstars. What song's this? Oh, the Love Train. Fucking Weston. My buddy Dum Dum. Start the Love Train.
You got
Love
yourself.
train.
You got yourself.
Wait, did you hit that or Ray?
He hit it because I immediately panicked back here. I was like,
saw
where did
Ray's
that come
face.
from?
I saw
I forgot
Ray's
that
face.
he's working the drop board now.
Oh my God! All right, so I want to introduce that. I don't know what to say to Phil. I've invited Philly fans that are of the Bill genealogy to call the show today because I don't believe it is time to push a so-called panic button, and I don't believe that you quote have to do something.
So you would do nothing.
I would do nothing. I would trust my players.
You would sit on your hands.
I would sit here and go, my players are veteran players who know how to play baseball. They did not wake up today and forget how to play baseball. So therefore, I would not put anything into their head except this. Fellas, fundamentally, they're throwing you more than 50% off speed. So, you know that adage that you sit on a fastball and just no. Here's what we're going to reverse the tide here. I want to see aggressiveness early in the count on breaking stuff. That's it. It's simple. You listen, fellas, here's the numbers. The numbers say that they're not going to throw you fastballs in the strike zone. So, you guys are professional hitters. I can't go into the batter's box with you and remind you. I can't put one of those little sound things in your hat to say, all right, the data com or whatever it's called. Expect breaking pitch. I can't do that. You have to do that yourself.
So why do managers get fired? This is what I don't understand. Your advice is do nothing. So
It's
then
a
if the
plan
manager
without
has
nothing.
nothing to do with it, then why would they ever even get fired?
Well, you tell me. Why they fire NHL coaches? You make a change when it's desperate times. You make a change. Now in Seattle, they're crumbling. They had a 5-game lead, and now they're 6.5 behind. That's different than what the Phillies are doing. They're still 6 up.
You'll feel differently in September. See, because the reason that I'm saying that I am panicking is not just because of this series. You're talking about 40% of the season now. This team hasn't played 500 baseball.
Listen, I didn't like the way they played the game last night. It didn't look like they were engaged. And there, a couple things happened. Trey Turner getting doubled on a ground ball third base is one of them. They botched a rundown play where Matt Olson, who has no business getting back to, he's slow as a turtle, and he beats you on a rundown play. He gets back to third base. That's not thinking the game. And I have a problem with that, yes.
And that's on the manager.
Well, I just don't understand. I think you overvalue a Major League Baseball manager. I don't think it's really that difficult. And I think Rob Thompson is good for this team because he understands that they're veteran players and that he doesn't have to overpower them. But baseball managers can only do so much in that game of baseball. That's a fundamental. What is a manager going to do? When somebody doesn't cover a base, like the pitcher has a brain cramp and doesn't realize he has to cover third base, or the third baseman who shouldn't be at third base, who doesn't know how to play third base, botches the rundown by chasing the guy towards home plate.
He shouldn't have had him at third.
He should have.
He shouldn't have had
It was
him
a
at
great
third.
play by Trey Turner.
No, I'm saying
first of all.
Thompson shouldn't have had him at third.
Okay.
And you agree with
that.
that.
But you want him in the lineup.
Put him in left.
I told you I disagreed with it, playing him at third base.
But
I
you
don't think there's
agreed
any way
yesterday.
that Weston Wilson should be playing third base.
You agreed yesterday that Weston Wilson should have been in the lineup because he had the hot bat.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that at all. I don't think that Weston Wilson should be in the lineup against a right-handed pitcher. I don't. I'm sorry.
We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, but I didn't say I wanted Weston Wilson in the lineup in any measure. I'm not a fan of Weston Wilson. I didn't say that at all. Where did you hear me say that?
Because yesterday I told you in his last 7 games he was batting .570.
But he's hitting against left-handed pitching. You don't factor that in.
He hit a double against a righty the other night in the win.
Occasionally he hits a double. He left him in that game against a right-hander. I would not have played him the next night.
So you asked me what would I do. So you're playing Brandon Marsh over Weston Wilson.
Yes.
And that's worked out really well over the last couple.
All right, let's go to Jack in Lancaster. Jack, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Jack.
Hey, Mike.
What's
Hey,
up,
I
Jack?
just want to say real quick, I love you, man. I've listened to you with my dad since, middle school, so this is pretty surreal for me. I love Trey. But I'm panicking, Mike. I'm
Okay.
panicking.
All right, got it. Panic for me. I want to hear the panic.
So it's just the last 2 years, this is how the Phillies have lost. They get cold when it matters, and the relief pitching is not there. So it's not so much like what can you do. It's more if they do this again, we're now talking about the Phillies being just like the Sixers, talking about the Phillies just like the Eagles last year. You know, there's all this talent, but they get cold, man, and it's frustrating to watch. Real frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings here, and they get cold. They're 5-5 in their last 10, right? Who doesn't get cold? Let's look at the teams that they're vying with here. The Milwaukee Brewers all of a sudden have lost 2 in a row, right? The Dodgers, they keep going. They're 7-3. The Dodgers are solid. They're probably not going to fade. The Diamondbacks have 72 wins. The Padres have 72 wins. The Phillies still have 74 wins.
Yeah, and they looked so good at the beginning of the year. Like, it was really like they looked so good that it was like, how could this team lose? And I almost forgot about, like, these dog days, you know, when they get cold. And it's like PTSD, man. Like, watching these guys chase breaking balls out of the zone, it's like taking a golf ball to the shin every time. It's like, oh, my goodness. Like,
I know, but see, you're thinking that the Phillies are the only team that does that. That all teams do that. This is why, like, how many teams really win 100 games in Major League
Not
Baseball?
many.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, so you were on pace to win more than 100 games. It was unrealistic to think that they would, though, because the baseball season's a long season.
And I totally agree. And I wasn't expecting them to set records with, you know, how many games they're winning in the regular season. I guess I was just hoping for not to see what's causing them to lose. Like, it's kind of like, why do the Sixers lose every year? You know, Embiid gets hurt. Now, is that something you can control? No, not really, but it doesn't hurt any less, you know, watching that happen every year. So I guess I'm trying to protect my feelings.
That's exactly what you're doing, and I get why you would do something like that. I get it. But I just think you have to have a deeper look at this, and the baseball season doesn't really, like, there aren't many teams that don't go through these kind of things. I'm looking at the run differentials here. There's really 3 teams in the National League, okay? So the Phillies are, the Dodgers lead in run differential plus 111. That's a telling statistic, right? The Phillies are plus 100, and the Brewers are plus 100. Okay, so if you want to look at the Brewers as a threat, all right, I got it. But the Arizona Diamondbacks, plus 77. The Padres are plus 62. That's the telling statistic. You know, the Phillies are still at plus 100.
But here's the problem with all these stats, and you come to me about stats. You're citing to the overall season. But it's because they started playing 700.
But that's unrealistic.
Exactly.
You can't say, okay, because they started plus playing 700, that they're going to continue to play plus 700.
Exactly. I'm with you.
Okay.
It's not realistic for them to play 700 baseball. But over the last 2 months, they've been playing under 500 baseball. So what is more realistic? What is the reality of this baseball team?
The season evens out. And so what compensates for playing plus 700 is that now you're playing below 500. It all comes out in the wash. In September, the teams that show up in the National League, the Phillies are going to be one of the teams to deal with. Like, you can't ignore that fact. There are 3 teams that you're going to have to deal with. The Phillies are one of them.
And if they continue to play this way, they'll get to October. But if they continue to play this way, we're going to be sitting up here talking about how they got knocked out in the wild card round.
All right, well, in September, it might be the Bill show where you go, I told you.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think so. But it might be the Bill show. All right, in the 12 o'clock hour, I want to get into some football issues with the best and worst coaching staffs. And I'm going to count down from 32. Number 32 is the Las Vegas Raiders coaching staff.
At least it's not the
Number
Eagles.
31, Washington Commanders coaching staff.
It's a brand new staff.
610-632-0975. Back after this. Noontime in the Delaware Valley. Mike Missanelli Show, 12 o'clock hour. Brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months. Get a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. It is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The news at noon, of course, brought to you by Ray Dunn. Ray, what do we have for today?
All right, we're going to start in baseball to a team that has actually collapsed. Manager Scott Service was shown the door by the Mariners on Thursday. It's not really all that surprising given how they performed the second half of this season. What is surprising is how it was revealed to him. Adam Jude of the Seattle Times reported that Service found out via social media hours prior to when he was scheduled to meet with management. It's not the first time this has happened. It's not the last time that this is going to happen. But my, oh my, can we just schedule these meetings a little bit sooner to when the decision's made that something's going to happen? Because I feel every time that I see this information get out before anyone has any knowledge of it.
Who leaks it? Who's the leaker of the information that the manager would have to find out on social media?
You would think it's the GM or the owner of the team.
Yeah,
right?
somebody leaks. Somebody has a really good relationship with a reporter and wants to give him a little tidbit. I agree. I don't think it's fair to. You should find out that you get zipped on social media. No. But by the same token, like, is there a good way to get zipped?
No, I don't think
there's
there's a good way.
So, like, what's the difference? You know, Scott Service has a contract. Probably they'll get paid the rest of the year. He can relax.
You would just think, though, talking about a multi-million-dollar organization, maybe billions in some cases, that they can do it the right way. Call the guy first before you leak it to the media.
I hope that it is in that, like, oh, nice relationship, we're helping out here, and not just like, you know, someone that was in the room where it happened, like, oh, yeah, hey.
Yeah.
This happened, just saw this happen. Maybe someone that wasn't in love with Service there at the organization that was there in the room as they were making the decisions was like, hey, let's get this out there. Let's put this out. I just don't like it. I don't like how it gets out this way.
I agree. I totally agree with Ray. Ray is indignant about this.
It bothers me.
Scott Service.
He's upset. Ray, did you ever have to let anybody go? You never had to fire anybody.
In student radio, yes, there was an example where that had to happen.
It's always terrible.
Not great.
Really?
It's horrible.
Yeah, it was not a great thing. I don't have a ton of experience letting people go, given the fact that I don't have a ton of life experience.
Yeah, I've lost several jobs.
Now, I've never been fired. I just probably jinxed myself.
Well,
why would you say that?
Yeah, I just jinxed myself.
That happened. You keep going down this narrative of, Phillies have to do something drastic.
This is what you want.
I guess it could happen, right?
Our PD's probably listening somewhere. Go ahead, Ray.
Scott's agreeing with me somewhere.
Bill wants Kevin Long to find out through Twitter that he's been let go as the hitting coach.
Kevin Long, of course, who needs help from Matt Gelb.
Right. He had his cup of coffee this morning. What?
Matt
Gelb is breaking balls?
Matt Gelb does a great job.
Fellas, we're going to have a team meeting. I got to first talk to Gelby.
Do something different.
No, this is nothing against Matt. Matt does a tremendous job. It's just that Kevin Long definitely knows what's going on.
Yeah. Gelby!
Right. Come on down. Help me out. Let's find the curveball machine. All right. 2 football stories for you here the rest of the way at News at Noon. First one, Broadcast World. Good Morning Football had Drew Bledsoe on to talk about Tom Brady and the adjustment to broadcasting. Bledsoe got a nice joke at his former backup's expense.
So I know that Tommy will work it to death. I will get kind of tired of his squeaky ass voice, but I know he'll do a great job calling the game.
Drew Bledsoe's done a good job pretending that he wasn't upset that Brady knocked him out of a job. He's done a pretty good job at that. He was on the roast.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, did you notice when Drew Bledsoe, like, did you think that he kept licking his lips?
He did.
Very strangely.
You insinuating something here, Mike?
He was sipping wine, but licking of the lips thing would indicate something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not wrong there. I'm not going to accuse anybody.
Did you notice that? He was licking the lips a lot.
Yes. Maybe it was nerves.
Blow that.
Maybe it was nerves, too.
Maybe it was the wine drying him out. He's got a wine. He does a wine thing, too, like me.
Your old friend was on that.
Yeah, my girl, Nikki?
Yeah, she killed it, man.
See, she's too big for me now.
We got to get her back.
I had a good thing going on with Nikki Glazer. She got too big. That roast made her blow up like crazy. Oh, she was always big, but that made her worldly.
Well, we got to reach out to her. We got to get her.
Yeah, all right. We'll try.
Try our best on that one. We'll try our best to book that guest on that one. I got to say, though, for Bledsoe, he does realize, like, his wheelhouse right now. He is getting a ton of these gigs, mostly from the Brady roast and from Brady in general.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, use what you got.
Yeah, he's playing the best lane he can here.
Yep.
I'm also going to get tired of Brady's squeaky-ass voice.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to the Brady
Brady's the
experience.
hated man in this town.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
looking
for
forward
damn
to
sure. I respect him.
Yeah, I don't hate Brady.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
either.
not looking forward to it.
Listen, if you are the best ever at the most important position in sports, you got my respect.
I hated him when he first started winning Super Bowls, and then my hate quickly turned to respect, and I do. I respect the guy, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw him. I'll tell a quick story because still gets under my crawl. I forget what year it was. It was the year LeVar Arrington played for Penn State, and they were really good. And I thought they were going to win a national championship. That was the year they should have won a national championship. So I go to a homecoming game. They played Minnesota. They lose to Minnesota, one of the most shocking upsets ever, on a kick. There was something happened at the end of the game. Ray, you could probably research this. Something weird happened at the end of the game where Minnesota had a kick to win the game, and they win the game on a kick. And so that ruined their Penn State's national championship hope. So several games later in the season, a friend of mine goes, "Hey, I got tickets to see the Michigan game, Penn State, Michigan." I'm going, I don't know. I'm out of the season now. They lost a minute. I'm there. So he finally convinces me to go up there. And Penn State gets on a rally, and they get it back in the national championship race, playing Michigan. Final drive of the game. Who leads Michigan down the field to win the game?
TB12.
TB12 wins the game for them.
Well, I think that was 1999.
Was it 99? Yeah, 99. You're absolutely right about that.
Because it looks like
so that was my first experience with that guy breaking a heart. You know, I go this time, and then I go to the bar after with my friend, my favorite bar, Zeno's, and we're sitting there, and they have like communal seating, and like 8 Michigan guys come in to like go over the final drive play by play as I'm trying to drink a beer in peace.
How does NFL scouts, whose only job is to evaluate college players, miss on a guy like Brady so badly?
Slow. He was like slow. He's a sluggish, like slug of a quarterback. And I guess they didn't realize what he could turn into. I mean, that's the biggest misjudgment ever.
Incredible.
One more for you here. I'm so glad this conversation took a turn to college football because college football is back. Miami of Ohio, their head coach, is trying to give a little bit of a look to what's coming down the line for his team this year, and it quickly broke into a whole different conversation.
All right, special teams, lost your kicker. Carter McLaughlin.
We didn't lose him. He's at Alabama. We know exactly.
I understand.
We know exactly where he's at. You media people, it's all pretend. Like, no, Alabama stole our kicker. They illegally recruited illegally recruited our kicker and stole him from us. And like that's a fact. But that's college. But we live in this la world. Like, hey, let's not talk. I don't know why everybody knows what's going on. So, yeah, Alabama stole our kicker. A couple other schools tried to steal it, but then what's the question?
Wow.
Well,
he didn't hold
back.
They
illegally recruit him? Well, there's more to that story. That's got to be a follow-up question.
I think he was about to say they got outbid. That's where I think he was going there at the end of that clip before he was
he should have said that. I mean, listen, it's all wide open now with the NIL where people are outbidding people. What do you mean he illegally recruited them? I need more on that. That's a libelous comment.
Is Alabama going to go after him for
That's
it?
libelous. Come on, man.
If you're Alabama, you're going any further than that?
You probably won't because you don't care what the Miami of Ohio coach says. But the guy's got, what do you mean you illegally recruited him? What's that mean?
Before he was in the portal?
That's a story.
Well, it's only libelous if it's not true, right?
Well, that's what I mean. It's got to be a bigger story than that. It's what was this? A guy, just a coach's show?
Yeah, he was talking someone else in also a Miami of Ohio shirt.
You see,
So-
if that's me, like, listen, the people that host the coaches show are in line with they're in lockstep with the whole program thing. So when they ask me, it was me, I go, wait, what? Illegal recruit, what's that mean? Yeah, I'd love to put Alabama on the griddle. If they did something like that.
And that's why I don't think Alabama's going to go back after him this one, because I don't think they'd want to be on the griddle for this.
Yeah, I hear you. That's what Illinois did that to Penn State after the Sandusky scandal, and they came on the campus to recruit Penn State players. That wasn't right.
Yeah,
that's why I hate Illinois. It's not right. You're not playing by the rules. That's not right.
You hate Illinois, the fighting
The Illini.
The Illini.
So I like Penn State to crush that team every time they play them.
Well, they probably can because it's not Michigan or Ohio State.
Yeah, I know. 610-632-0975. Bill had to get his dig in there.
I didn't say anything. Notice that.
I looked
Notice
at
that. I didn't say
August
anything.
31st, noontime, Bill will be locked in to Penn State, West Virginia. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Mike. No, I'm a little down today. Been down the last couple days at the news of Ben Affleck breaking up with Jennifer Lopez now, and a happy marriage. I read a story yesterday, actually, the decline of the marriage started on the honeymoon.
That's not a good sign.
That's a terrible sign. And apparently Ben did not realize that the paparazzi would be in their stuff for the whole time. And in fact, their honeymoon was in Sicily. And paparazzi showed up, and he realized that, well, wherever Jen goes, she's going to get it. And so he didn't like it from the jump.
Two big takeaways here.
Yeah.
Can you call a decline if it happened in the honeymoon? Because that would assume that there was ever a marriage to build off of in general.
A guy like Ben Affleck's probably like, he gets, he got a little star in him, and he had a grab for the glam. Now on like that's, she comes with a warning on a cigarette. Like she should have a warning on her.
On J-Lo?
Yeah, J-Lo should have the cigarette box warning.
She's got to be done, right? There's no way she's getting married again. That would be number 5.
She'll get married again. What are you kidding me?
Number 5?
Yeah, some other star will come flying in here in the picture, but she's Ben. See, I'm different. Like, it's like Brady grabbing for the glam too with Giselle, right? He had Bridget Moynihan. I'd take Bridget Moynihan any day of the week over Giselle. I really would. Like, I like the normal, naturally. Like, Jennifer Garner is one of my all-time favorites. Like, he bailed out on the Jennifer Garner, and all of a sudden he gets a sniff of Jenny from the block, and and look where he is now. He's sitting there with a bottle of Jim Beam.
How does he not realize, though, with the paparazzi? This is not his first go-around here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he's all about. I think he's a terrible actor. I really do. I don't think Matt Damon's much better as an actor, really. But both of them managed to score big
careers.
Also,
yeah,
Ben Affleck's the same guy that out front of his own home, they got pictures of him with Duncan before they were together. Like, he's had the paparazzi around him his entire life. This is a horrible PR spin if this is the way they're trying to go for this marriage falling apart.
But here's the beauty of today's story, though. Jenny made sure that she filed the divorce on the day of their second anniversary.
Yeah, that's cruel.
As a bleep you to Ben.
That's cruel.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So this ended really bad.
Listen, I don't know. I don't like to make judgments, but it seems like she would be, this is the 4th one. She's got to be lethal. Don't you think?
I guess she's got to send a message. Wait, you said you don't like Affleck as an actor.
No, I think he's a dope as an actor.
You know what movie
I go, why they cast this dope in this role?
But I did love, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie now, the hostage crisis one.
Oh, Argo?
Yeah, I thought that was excellent.
Argo, bleep yourself.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, but he's not a good. I mean, he stinks. He stunk in the movie.
Wasn't he a director on that or something? He was involved.
He was a CIA guy. I think he planned. He had to plan the thing, the escape.
I think he was the director too.
Oh, was he? Yeah. Come on, really? You like Ben Affleck as an actor? Have you never thought about that? Like Ben Affleck, a good actor? I think the movies that you might like the movies, but look at his performances. Like,
yeah, he's not great, but he's had a couple good movies. That was good. The Town was good.
The Town?
Town was a good movie.
With Jeremy Renner?
Did you like that?
No.
That was a good movie.
You're looking, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ray doesn't know that.
Right? Movie. I definitely saw it.
He's a dope, though. Like, she gets the impression of, like, oh, man, he's such a dope when he acts in a movie. No?
Him in Surviving Christmas with James Gandolfini?
I didn't see Surviving Christmas. But I saw him in Reindeer Games. I could take my eyes off his co-star in Reindeer Games. But,
yeah, who was it?
Oh, come on, man.
I remember the movie. And
Charlize Theron.
Yes. Did you like her in Monster, too?
I like her in any movie. Well,
you didn't like her in
Monsters. No, they really. I couldn't believe they did a job on her.
She did a good job acting in that
but
movie.
She's one of the most beautiful women ever in my book.
The Italian Job?
Let's go to Al in West Philly. Al, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Al.
Yeah, what is it? Good afternoon, guys. Listen, listening to you guys talk about the the Phillies and what they're doing and not doing right now. The thing that bothers me the most when they're up to bat is that swinging at bad pitches, swinging at balls, swinging at stuff that's nowhere near the strike zone. That's the thing that gets me more than anything about the Phillies.
Well, you're right. But it's all breaking stuff on the outside part of the plate.
Exactly.
That they're swinging at. And this is why, as a hitter, they should, I don't understand how they don't know this, how pitchers are trying to get him out. So you take the half the plate away from yourself as a hitter to make it simple. The plate is small as it is. But you can even make it smaller by saying, okay, I only have to worry about this part of the plate. As a hitter, that's a gift. And they're not taking advantage of it.
Exactly, I agree with you, Mike. And the thing is, for me, it's got to show, to get back to where they need to be, they have to show more patience. Later.
All right, man, you got it.
He's got the answers.
He does. Vince in Newark. Vince, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Vince?
Hey, Mike, welcome back. It's your golf buddy.
What's up, bud?
For a couple years, so I'm glad to have you back on the air.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Vince, how's Mike's swing looking these days?
Vince hasn't played with me.
I haven't seen it in a while. So, according to Mike, though, it sounds like that may be a good thing.
Oh, no, it's terrible. I'm terrible right now. Back has been killing me.
I can't complain.
Good for you.
So, but I wanted to call and just talk a little Phils here. Mike, agree with you on the breaking pitches, but, I mean, shouldn't Thompson just give him the take sign? I mean, what's he doing from the dugout? And, you know, Smoltz mentioned it last night on the broadcast on Fox that Castellanos swings at the first pitch every time. So if he knows that, the pitchers know it, and he continues to do it. But
he does.
you know,
That's why it is up to the hitter. You can't give guys the take sign, though.
Why not?
Well, because you don't want to take a good pitch. Like you never know. Like suppose pitch one is a cookie. You can't force guys to take
Mike,
unless
if
it's
you know
3-0.
what's coming, and I'm sitting on my couch and I know what's coming. How come they don't know what's coming?
But those takes that could be strikes. Like you can't give a guy takes on and there's a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. It's a strike. Then you hamstring them. They have to make a decision on what they want to swing at.
But I was baffled with keeping Bowman out of the game last night. My philosophy is you're going against a team that's trying to chase you down. You got to put your best team out there against them.
So
you
don't
give them a break.
You didn't like Dub at third base, Vince?
No, I mean it makes no sense. Well, at least to me, anyway.
Made a lot of sense to Bill. He wanted him in the lineup no matter what.
No, not at third.
If Weston Wilson had a catch last night, Bill would have him in the lineup.
No, not at third. He should have been in the lineup, but not at third.
You know, and I'm not freaking out yet. Am I disappointed the way they're playing? Most definitely. But if the Phillies started out the season winning 6 out of 10, just playing at a 600 clip, right now everybody'd be happy because they're in first place. You know, it's kind of tainted the view by them starting out so hot. Now everybody's in a panic mode.
Well, yeah, and this is a typical. This is why I'm here, because it's a typical action from Philly fans.
Yeah, but Mike,
and they don't appreciate the fact that they're a good team. That's what they're missing. They're a good team, and you're panicking. So don't panic.
I would go. What was his name, Vince?
Yeah, Vince.
See, I take the opposite approach to what Vince is saying. He's saying people are panicking because they started out so hot.
Yeah.
You're not panicking because they started out so hot. Because if you look at over the last 2.5 months, they haven't been a good baseball team.
Vince is from Newark, Delaware. I played with him at DuPont. Have you played DuPont, Delaware?
I haven't. Heard it's nice, though.
Yeah, pretty nice. Long.
They do
Very long.
They do pro events there, don't
Long
they?
track. Yeah, they've had women events there.
Yeah.
I don't think they had a pro yet. Men's pro. 610-632-0974. We still have a lot of Phillies texts. We'll go over it, and again, I'll get into this coaching staff. I'm going to count it down, just for the mystery of it, where the Eagles figure. I'm going to count it down from 32. Mike Missanelli Show continues. You got Panic City, Philadelphia, over the Phillies. They lost 2-3 to the Atlanta Braves, and they lose last night to Spencer Schwellenbach. That's a good pitcher. He was a shortstop in Nebraska. How about that?
It's a good name, Schwellenbach. Isn't that a good name?
Converted shortstop, and he was so he caught on to it so quickly that he was the Double-A guy that they brought up.
Well, he started.
So he was a shortstop. They drafted him as a shortstop.
That's crazy.
From Nebraska. I think he pitched a little bit, maybe in relief, and they turned him into a full-time pitcher. By Double-A, they had brought him up to the major leagues.
And at one point last night, retired 18 in a row.
And he threw breaking stuff. And he did have a nice fastball, though. He threw 96. He threw 96, and you got good breaking stuff like that. Pretty tough to hit.
But when you say it's Panic City because they dropped 2 or 3 from the Braves, that's not telling the whole story, Mike. They've been the third worst team in baseball since the All-Star break.
I understand that. I saw that.
That's the Panic City.
Behind the White Sox and who else?
The Mariners.
The Mariners?
Who just fired their manager via social media.
Well, you want to fire the manager?
Ridiculous.
What are they saying? It's now 12:33, Ray. What are they saying on the text board?
Andre from West Philly. Fire the hitting coach, and if things don't get better, then fire Rob Thompson. Don't bench nobody, just fire the hitting coach, and if nothing changes, then fire Rob Thompson. That's your problem. The rhythm is all off. Players need to be held accountable, but benching them won't get them out of a hitting slump.
Firing will, though.
Apparently.
I think that would be an overreaction. But let me ask you, Mike. You said you would...
You fire the manager. Fire the hitting coach?
No, I wouldn't fire anybody.
Okay.
I wouldn't fire anybody. Not at this point of the season.
Okay.
I'd make some changes. I don't know what they are, but I'd have to do something. But let me ask you this. You said you would be closer to the panic button if they're playing like this in September.
Yeah.
If they don't go to the World Series, are you considering a manager change?
Yes.
World Series for you? They have to get there. What if they lose in the NLCS?
If they lose to the Dodgers, I would not fire them. If they lose to another a team like Arizona, yeah, but I fully expect that they'll play the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are a tad better than the Phillies, so no, I would not overreact.
I think we agree on that. If they lose in the NLCS to the Dodgers, I'm not making a move at manager. But if they come short of the NLCS, I think you have to seriously consider it.
Okay, let's go back to the phones. Let's talk to Eddie on a cell. Eddie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Eddie.
Mikey, it's good to have you back, my
Thanks,
man.
buddy.
This is my first listen because of my work schedule, and I'm driving down the shore. I'm going to be on 55, and I'm going to drive past your beautiful Natali Vineyards.
Thank you, which is now called Briganti by the Bay.
Did they change the signage?
Yes, the sign. We have a nice pirate logo. It's very cool.
Nice. I probably hit that in about 54 more minutes.
Awesome.
I should be swinging by. Maybe I'll jump in there and grab something for tonight. Listen, I was doing a cup of coffee at Penn State McKeesport that season when LeVar blocked the last-second Pitt field goal attempt. You remember that?
Yeah, and there was a penalty, right?
It was.
It was a penalty, and they got a second chance to kick it, and that's how they won the game?
Correct.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the naivety of me, I had a Penn State, one of those placards in a 2-door Hyundai Accent, and drove up to Pitt later that night and had one of my windows broken. I didn't quite understand the rest, but Pitt fans are the worst.
Yeah, they are the worst. Jealous, that's why.
So, a couple of quick things. How's the pooch? How's the dog?
Oh, my dog's good. Just turned 9. I'm going to bring her in one of these days. I used to bring her in a lot.
That's good stuff. I'm not hitting panic on the Phils. Ride it out. Let the season play out. There's a reason they play this many games. And when one gets hot, the rest will get hot. It'll get infectious. Not worried about that. My curiosity at this point is Paris Campbell. Is he the odd man out at this point, or do they keep him around on the Birds? Maybe kickoffs. I know they like Covey. I was talking to your producer about that. But does Covey or Dotson see kickoffs at all, even with the new format and the new play?
I don't know who's going to return kickoff. Covey's their punt returner, so I don't think he'll return kickoffs. Who's going to be their kickoff returner, Bill?
It could be Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah?
It could be. Rodgers is a pretty good returner as well. If you look at a lot of the guys they've added this offseason, they all can return kicks. Cooper DeJean's another guy. He's a punt returner, but he's another guy who can return. But I think
want Aeneas Smith to return. He probably will be on the practice squad, though, right?
Yeah, they're going to probably keep 6 wide receivers. So, AJ, Devontae, obviously now Dotson, Britton Covey, that's 4. Who are the other 2 that make the team? Johnny Wilson, I don't think they want to risk losing him. So now you're at 5. Who's the 6th wide receiver? Is it Paris Campbell? Is it Joseph Nagata? Is it Anaya Smith? That's the question.
Okay.
I don't know if Paris Campbell makes the team.
Won't see him no more. You're probably right. Yeah, Paris.
He has the inside track because he has a history in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And they liked him. He's just been battling injuries. But maybe Paris Campbell's the odd man out there. I don't know.
Let's go to Phil on a cell. What's up, Phil?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. I just want to make a comment. I don't know if this is true or not. It's being reported that Franklin, the only way that Penn State would agree to play West Virginia in West Virginia was at noon and not at night. I think that's pretty weak if that's the case. And if he loses to WV, he's definitely not going to beat Ohio State and Michigan. That's at least 3 losses. I have him losing to one of the Big Ten schools. This could be his last year.
Oh, you don't like James Franklin, do you? I don't think that what you said first is accurate. That Big Ten arrangement they had, like the big noon games, they played Ohio State at noon last year. So I think that's just a TV call.
Okay, I got you. But he's on a hot seat, Mike. I don't know if you think that or not. But
I don't think he's on the hot seat at all. They love him at Penn State.
Okay.
They love him.
Not me.
I know you won't, and I don't think I do, but I can tell you the administration loves him being the front man for that program.
He's a little chippy, and they really they haven't beaten Michigan or Ohio State.
They don't care. They don't care. That's the whole point with Penn State. They don't care. They don't have an administration that cares about that.
Okay.
Really, it ticks me off to no end. But they say that it's Happy Valley. Everybody's happy. Let's go to the Citrus Bowl. Yay!
Good talking to you, pal. Good luck.
All right, man.
Yeah. $10 million a year for Franklin, huh?
All right, let me look at that 99 game again because I had horrible memories of that. They were going to win the national championship that year. They came into that game ranked number 4 in 1999. This is LeVar Arrington's game. By the way, I've never seen a better football player than LeVar Arrington ever in a Penn State uniform.
Really?
Yeah, never. He's the best player I've ever seen.
Linebacker,
as a college football player.
There's been a lot of good linebackers.
That guy was like an assassin. Now, it didn't happen in the pros for him. I understand it. He was ruthless as a Penn State linebacker. I remember one play where he dove over the line. You can see this on YouTube. He dove. It was a 3rd and short or a 4th and short. He went airborne over both lines to make the tackle.
Now, that 99 Penn State team, I'm going to check your Penn State knowledge.
Uh-huh.
LeVar Arrington gets drafted 2nd overall.
There you go.
Who went number 1?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Another Nittany lineman.
It was the lineman, the defensive end.
Good call. Courtney Brown.
Courtney Brown went to Cleveland, right?
Yep, 1 and 2.
Yeah, so in this game, I think the VAR may have been offsides on the first kick. But they blocked the kick, and they called a penalty, and it moved it up, and and they gave him another chance for a field goal, and he won the game. Minnesota on homecoming. And
broke Mikey Miss's heart.
That was the end. Because I'm going, this team can win a national championship. They're pretty good. And then that was it.
Ray, were you born yet in 99?
Come on, man. Really? You going to do that to me right here, right
Actually,
now?
Minnesota was unbeaten in that game. So maybe I'm looking at them like.
What are they, the Gophers?
Yeah, the
Golden Gophers.
The Gophers came into the game unbeaten. But they schedule homecoming for a reason.
You know who's homecoming this year? For Penn State?
What is?
Illinois.
Oh, the Fighting Illini.
The Illini, really? Yeah, I'll set a line on that. Right, I'll take Penn State giving 25 to anybody who wants it.
I don't know. After your performance yesterday in the betting world, I'm staying away from it.
I want to know who made that. Did anybody bet? And I guarantee you nobody bet it. It was so unlikely for people to look at that and say that he was going to hit a home run in that game last night.
Now, you and I could make friendly bets amongst each other.
Yeah.
Did you see Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors tried to make a bet of $10,000 on who would win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the NFL said no.
Oh, of course you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Oh, that's no good.
Notre Dame's swimming team got suspended for that.
That's correct.
Wow. Rudy!
All right, let's move this conversation on to football. Bill, you're Mr. Football. Who's got the worst coaching staff in the league, according to this ESPN story?
I'm surprised by that, Mike. I have it in front of me, so I'm not guessing.
Okay, it is Antonio Pierce, the offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, the defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. Here's the comment. I am always suspicious of interim to head coach promotions. The best success story for interim promotion in the past 20 years is former Cowboy coach Jason Garrett. Do you really want to be angling for a Jason Garrett arc? That makes no sense. How many interim promotions have there been in the last 20 years? They don't usually do that in the NFL.
Who wrote this article, Ray?
Ben Solak.
Like I don't know Ben. I take a lot of issue with his rankings.
Okay.
We'll get to them, but I take a lot of issue in that one.
Number 32 of the Raiders. Number 31, your Washington Commanders, with Dan Quinn as a head coach, who has failed as a head coach. Offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury. What do you think of that?
Yeah, they have Joe Witt Jr. as their DC. But
Joe Witt Jr., DC. I love the vibes in this room is the comment. Quinn, Cliff, and Witt get along well with the fellas. But schematically, this is as stale of a room as I can remember.
I'm not a huge Dan Quinn or Cliff Kingsbury guy, but I think there are worse coaching combinations
You think
in
so?
the NFL.
Let's
Yes.
move on to number 30. The New England Patriots, Gerard Mayo, the new head coach, offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, and defensive coordinator DeMarcus Covington. As such, the comment is, we don't know much about Gerard Mayo. What sort of a leader and communicator will he be? How much will he change in the defensive approach, if anything at all? Does he have a good Rolodex of coordinators and position coaches from the outside of the Patriots universe? Of all the new coaches, he's the biggest question mark. Your thoughts?
I agree with him on this. You just don't know what you have. But the next one, Mike, you don't know what you have in Mayo, but the next one should be number 32.
Oh, you don't like him at all. The New Orleans Saints head coach, Dennis Allen. What don't you like about it?
How about the fact that he has a .343 winning percentage as a head coach?
Yeah, he's 24-46. And first winning season of his career was last year, though.
He's terrible.
Last year, 9-8, the Saints were.
In the weakest division in football, the NFC South.
Anyway, Dennis Allen, the comment says his defense has fallen off, even though he's supposed to be a defensive guy, as he's taken over head coaching reins. But there's been no offensive bump or shrewd game management in return for the defensive coach. So that's Gary Kubiak's kid.
Clint Kubiak, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, remember, as we're doing these, he's ranking the coaches in its entirety, not just the head coach.
Tennessee Titans, head coach Brian Callahan. I have no idea who Brian Callahan is. Is he Bill Callahan's kid?
I think he is. Was he the...
Look at these kids getting these head coaching jobs.
He was the offensive coordinator, I think, was it Atlanta last year?
All right, so Brian Callahan is the head coach.
Cincinnati, that's right.
Nick Holtz is... that's not...
That's not Lou Holtz.
No, it's just Holz, offensive coordinator. Denard Wilson, former Eagle defensive mind, goes to Tennessee, and they're not liking it.
There were a lot of people who wanted to see Denard Wilson get the D.C. job, not Sean Desai.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ended up not only giving the job to Sean Desai, they let Denard Wilson walk, and I think that could have been part of the reason why the secondary struggled so much. He did a good job in Baltimore.
Carolina Panthers, Dave Canales. That was a very strange decision to make him the head coach. Brad Idzik is the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. Giro Evero.
I know there's only 32 jobs of head coaches. I wouldn't want to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Worst owner in the NFL, Dave Tepper.
But 27 is a higher ranking than a lot of teams. All right, where are the Eagles? Let's move up. Seattle Seahawks at number 26. Head coach Mike McDonald, offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, defensive coordinator Aiden Durde.
McDonald was a great DC in Baltimore.
I don't even know who these people are, so that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, Mike McDonald had a very successful coaching career in Baltimore.
Yeah, he was a hot name.
Hot
in the
name, but
offseason.
you just don't know with these guys.
All right, Chicago Bears at 25. Matt Eberfluss.
Stinks.
Flus. Shane Waldron, Eric Washington, your coordinators. No go?
No, I mean, they're probably ranked properly down in the bottom of the league.
Here is an interesting one. The New York Football Giants at 24. Brian Dable, is he an overrated coach? Offensive coordinator, our old pal Mike Kafka. Defensive coordinator Shane Bowen.
Yeah, they brought in Shane Bowen from Tennessee, who I think is better than Wake Martindale. But I don't know with Brian Dable, man. I thought when he was in Buffalo as the offensive coordinator, he was great. And then he had that great first year with the Giants, and now things are starting to fall apart a little bit. We're going to find out this year, but I think it's going to be another down year.
Denver Broncos at 23. Sean Payton, Joe Lombardi, Vance Joseph, and Sean Payton is going with Bo Nix as his man.
Yeah, they're playing this year, Mike, with the cap hit they took with the Russell Wilson move, but he's a Super Bowl winner.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The head coach is Todd Bowles. Very well respected.
Temple
Offensive
proud,
coordinator
right.
Liam Cohen. They don't have a defensive coordinator yet.
Well, Todd Bowles is basically their DC.
Okay. So they know they're not going to name a defense coordinator?
I don't know. That's interesting.
Atlanta Falcons at 21. Raheem Morris, your head coach, getting another shot at a job. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. Defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake. Your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting because both coordinators, it's really their first year. They came from the Rams with Raheem Morris, but they're not coordinators ever. So there's a lot of unknowns there. And Raheem Morris was a superstar when he got the first stint, and he failed. 356 winning percentage. So we'll see. There's just a lot of unknowns.
See what I'm doing here, Ray? I'm deferring to Bill and his football expertise. Arizona.
Is that something? Is that a sign for our baseball conversation?
Yeah, I think he wants me to defer to him on baseball.
No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just deferring to you.
I'm just trying to read between the lines here.
You know why? Because Bill has
emotional intelligence.
That's correct. To Arizona Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon.
Your buddy.
Your head coach, Drew Petzing, is your offense coordinator, and Nick Rallis is your defense coordinator.
Nick Rallis was the linebacker coach in 2022 here in Philadelphia.
That's correct.
Very young guy to be a DC.
Yeah.
I don't know. 20th is probably a little high. Okay. But he did some good things in his first year in Arizona.
All right.
Still no Eagles.
A lot of people like what Jonathan Gannon did with those Arizona Cardinals. You're right. As we move up the ladder, the New York Jets are number 19. Oof. I don't know what this guy. Well, how does this guy keep his job?
Saleh?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Nathaniel Hack, offensive coordinator. They bring him in, obviously, for Rodgers. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. What do you think?
You talk about Saleh. This is why good coordinators don't always make great coaches. He was a good defensive coordinator in San Fran, but I haven't seen it yet.
Classic example of a guy who was a better coordinator than head coach.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
They haven't done anything. Jacksonville Jaguars are 18. Oh, Dougie P is your head coach. Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator. We know Press. And Ryan Nielsen, the defensive coordinator.
Obviously love Dougie P. Never have to buy a drink in this city.
Hold a second. Why do you obviously love Dougie P?
The only Super Bowl coach we've ever had, Mike.
You obviously love Dougie P?
Yeah, brought us a
you
Super
don't think
Bowl.
that was more of a fluke than a Doug P expertise?
That's where I'm going with this.
Okay, go ahead.
I said love him, but they had almost as bad of a collapse that the Eagles had. Don't make the playoffs last year. This is a make it or break it year for Doug Peterson. If they don't have success, I don't know if he'll ever get a head coaching job.
Never at any point that he was a coach here got the impression that he was a cerebral football coach. Now, was that me?
Nah, I agree with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think he's a great coach. I don't. He was a pretty good play caller at times.
We'll do one more as we get into the break. Your Los Angeles Chargers are 17th. So you're feeling good about your Eagles staff so far. The Chargers with Harbaugh, new coach Roman and Jesse Minter. Jim Harbaugh as the coach of the Chargers. What do you think?
He had a lot of success when he was here before in San Francisco.
I think he's going to do a really good job there. I think he's going to awaken that quarterback.
Strange dude, but certainly a good coach. And Jesse Minter, I liked him a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mike Missanelli Show. We're continuing on 97.5 The Fanatic. Missanelli Show, 1 o'clock hour, brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Just visit one of Ferguson's counter locations in Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Panic has set over the Delaware Valley based on your fighting Phillies. You tonight start a 3-game series starting at 8:10 tonight at the Kansas City Royals, who are 71-56, 40-26 at home. Tonight, Kansas City, a whopping minus 145 favorite as Taijuan Walker pitches for the Phillies against Michael Wacha. And we are discussing it. And there are a lot of Philly fans that are panicked, including Bill Colarulo, who's with me. Ray Dunn is, he's young, but he's more level-headed than Bill when it comes to baseball. I don't think Ray's panic as much as Bill is. But Bill's just a reflection of the feeling that the Delaware Valley is getting of the Philadelphia Phillies. I, however, am the voice of reason and the voice of calm when it comes to this Philly season, and I am not panicked at all yet. There is a stat that is troubling me that opposing pitchers are getting Philly hitters out with breaking stuff, and to me, that should make it a lot easier for these accomplished hitters. So I am not going to blame anybody except the players themselves, the big hitters in this lineup, the Trey Turners, the Kyle Schwarbers, the Bryce Harpers. I'm blaming those guys. Those guys have to deliver, and it seems like that they know what the game plan is against them. That should play right into their hands, and I just don't get why it doesn't.
I'm with you that a majority of the blame should go to the players, especially the superstars. But when it hasn't been working, and you're looking at now over 30 games it hasn't been working, at what point does the manager step in and do something? You're saying do nothing.
I don't understand your point of view at all. I really don't. I don't know what you expect to do in a baseball season. And I would love to hear suggestions. There are people out there who go, we got to do something. Well, there's nothing to do when it comes to baseball. You can only do so many little. What are you going to do? You didn't change the lineup? You got to bench a guy? I don't know what it is. You have to count on your good players to come through. That's the only thing you can do in baseball. You can't really do anything about it. You can't shake a guy's helmet. You can't jack a guy up. You can't give him a fire and brimstone speech in baseball. You can't do it.
So your recommendation is do nothing.
My recommendation is that I would really emphasize, and in these team meetings, I would emphasize, listen, fellas, this is what you're going to get from pitchers. Now, Wacha is probably going to follow the same game plan that every other pitcher is following. They're going to throw more than 50% off-speed stuff, breaking stuff. So sit on that. Divide the plate in half. If you're a right-handed hitter, they're probably going to try to get you out on the right side of the plate. It's really simple, and it needs to be emphasized. But guys who already know this have to be a lot more disciplined. They have to shake themselves. There's nobody who can shake a baseball player into being a better hitter.
But at what point do you think that the manager should do something? Because it's not only the series against the Braves. It's not only since the All-Star break. You got to go back to June, the last time this team was playing some really good baseball. And when they did sit Trey Turner down last week, what happens? They went 4 in a row. Wow. But your suggestion is don't do anything. But the one thing Bob Thompson does do is take out his best hitter last night in the third game of a series that's tied 1-1 and say, you know what, I'm going to put a guy who shouldn't be playing third base out there in Weston Wilson. He's not pressing the right buttons at the right times at all. And I'm not putting all the blame on him, but do something. Do something to wake this team up.
A manager is the most helpless position in professional sports. It really is. A baseball manager is the most helpless position that you can have in sports. You can look at every other sport, and a coach can influence that sport and the way that game is played more than you can in baseball. You can. It's a fact.
What do you think Charlie Manuel would be doing right now? Nothing?
Nothing.
He wouldn't be changing anything up.
Did Charlie Manuel change stuff ever? Charlie Manuel didn't change stuff. He maybe put a boot in your ass every now and then, but he didn't change stuff. He trusted his players.
A little boot in the ass. Maybe that's what they need, Mike. What do you think, Ray? A little boot in the ass for the Phillies.
Yes, the manager that they've loved his laid-back approach, giving them a boot in the ass.
Managers believe in players. They know that it's up to the player. They can only provide the most comfortable environment in a clubhouse. Baseball managers can only do so much. They play basic strategies. They put a lineup card together that they think will work, and that's all. And then it's up to them. It's up to those guys. Really, I'm telling you, it's the least amount of motivational things that you can do in any position of authority in sports. A baseball manager.
I agree with you on that. It's not football. You're not going to give this motivating speech necessarily.
Or you're not going to craft a scheme or a game plan or run a certain play. It's completely different.
But when you know what Matt Gelb knows, that you're getting 49% non-fastball since the All-Star break, they need to do a better job of relaying the message to the players with their approach at the plate. And if the players aren't going to follow that approach, then there should be repercussions.
What's the better job? What are you going to do? You want to like wire? You build some wire system into their brain? Like, how about do a better job? What does that mean?
Would they strike out 32 times in the series against the Braves?
They got 14 times last night. It's unacceptable. They're striking, but they're striking out on breaking pitches.
But when you say it's acceptable,
it is unacceptable for the player. It's
yes,
not
but what should the manager do about it?
The manager can't do anything about it. He can't. There's nothing a manager can do about stuff like that.
I can't get behind it.
All right.
I can't get behind it.
Well, they're going to lose tonight. In fact, I'll play it right now. I'll bet Kansas City against Taiwan Walker tonight. People go, that's a violation for you to bet against you. No, it's not. It's like last night. I took that guy to hit a home run. Boom.
You were spot on yesterday, man. I got to give you credit on that one. That was a weird. You were right. It was a weird line. It made no sense.
It made no sense except the odds maker is telling you, hey. They're announcing to you that could happen.
We have someone on the text line that wanted to let you know they did.
Somebody did?
They made the bet.
One person?
We have one person
I can't believe that you would hear me talk about that for as long as I talked about it yesterday. And you cowards who bet baseball would not put $20 on him hitting a home run last night. That's an outrage. I'm personally offended.
You know what, Mike?
With that.
You and I haven't agreed on much the last 2 weeks. I'm agreeing with you here. Major violation on my part not listening to you last night. Ray, you got no excuse either, Ray.
We've been working together for 2 weeks. You don't listen to me at all.
I already had thrown everything I had on it.
You don't listen to me at all? Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
As we're talking about managers in baseball that can't do much, we should just finish up where the Eagles ranked in that coaching thing, because they can do things.
Yes. So let me continue with this, and as we talk Phillies baseball and other stuff in the 1 o'clock hour. The Dallas Cowboys had the 16th best coaching staff, according to this. Mike McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer, the new OC, and Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator. That's a pretty good staff.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. That defense was good last year under Dan Quinn. How do they react to Mike Zimmer's style? Be interesting.
I like Mike Zimmer.
You like that fiery?
As a defense coordinator, that was a great hire.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get to 15. Your Philadelphia Eagles are rated right kind of in the middle, a little better in the middle, as the 15th best overall coaching staff. Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio. Now, he, the author of this story also says, I have no idea how to rank the Eagles.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be expected to write a blurb about the Eagles. I should just gesticulate wildly at the numerous and detailed reports of coaching dysfunction last season. That's right. Shrug my shoulders and keep it moving. I don't know how to credit Sirianni. I don't either.
Look, I think the Eagles are ranked too low, and not because of Nick Sirianni.
Oh, my God.
It's the entire picture. You have Vic Fangio. You have Kellen Moore. You got 35 years of experience between those two guys. You have Kellen Moore, who called plays for the #1 offense in the league a couple years ago. So I think when you look at it and you look at who they have ranked above them, I think the Eagles should be ranked higher than 15th when you look at the whole picture. Whether you're a Sirianni fan or not, the three of them, Sirianni, Moore, and Fangio, I think are better than 15th in the NFL.
What he says here, I don't think Sirianni is a completely a stuffed shirt, but figuring out his role alongside these two excellent coordinators is tricky. Fangio had a tough time with the Dolphins locker room last year, but he was a key voice in the success of the 2022 Eagles defense and remains one of the shrewdest defensive coaches in the league. Some of the shine is off Moore, who interviewed for the Eagles head coaching job back in 2021 at the height of his hype. Moore still runs a dangerous, complex offense that presents a lot of stressors for opposing defenses. Is it a great fit for Jalen Hurts' play style? I'm not convinced. Ooh.
I don't. You look at the people who they have above him. You got Cincinnati.
A good point he makes, though, about throwing newfangles in there. And,
no, it is.
And having Hurts as your quarterback.
It is. He's never had a running quarterback before. Prescott and Herbert weren't that.
Correct.
But I do think he's a smart enough coordinator with all these weapons now, Mike. Like Ray asked the question on the show sheet, on paper, is this the best offense that the Eagles have ever had? And I think it's hard to argue that it's not.
610-632-0975. We got some Phillies. We got some Eagles. Hot talk going on. Bills, are they in trouble? Let's hear from you. Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this. Oh, yeah. No, you don't know what it is.
But I heard you say to Ray to play it. So.
Yeah. Panic in Detroit.
It's going to be Panic in Kansas City tonight.
Panic in Philadelphia by David Bowie. Yep. As the Phillies are in a swoon. Opponents have thrown the Phillies. This stat is mind-boggling to me. They've thrown the Phillies 29% fastballs in the strike zone. You're not going to get a fastball in the strike zone. So as a hitter, they're going to go change up and slide. They're going to pitch me backwards. Change ups and sliders. If they beat me with a fastball, salud. They beat me with a fastball. Salud, right? But they're not going to beat me with this junk that they're getting me out on. They struck out 14 times last night, seeing a curveball Spencer Schwellenbach. It's impossible as a hitter not to be prepared when the dynamics of your at-bat is determined by statistics. This is what they're going to throw you. This is how they're getting you out. I don't understand how players like Turner and Castellanos, especially from the right side, and then Weston Wilson, I just don't get it. I don't understand how you don't hit when it's been made easier for you to hit. Now, normally a breaking pitch is going to be harder for you to hit, but not if you recognize it, if you know that it's coming.
Well, they're going to be fine now because the curveball machine came out.
You keep your left hip in. Keep your left hip in.
Love it.
Wait. It's going to land here.
So you're coaching right now.
Maybe. Yes. But what I'm saying
Rob Thompson not doing this?
Of course they're doing it. Of course they're pointing this stuff out. They have pregame meetings all the time. The manager said after they use the whole field. Using the whole field is if that breaking pitch is on the right side of your right-handed hitter, take the right center field. It's really simple.
Okay.
Castellanos is the biggest offender of that whole thing, though.
He is,
really
but
is.
And look, I've gone after Casti a lot.
Yeah.
He's probably like 10th on the list though right now. It's not him that's the problem right now. It's your big three. The top three.
610-632-0975. Just back to football, and we'll get to the phones because people want to talk about this Philly thing, Panic in Philly. The top 5 coaching staffs, I totally agree with. Totally. Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, Steve Spagnuolo, the Kansas City Chiefs, #1 coaching staff in the league. You like it?
I agree. I don't agree with number 2.
Number 2 is the Detroit Lions. Boy, you hate the Lions. You hate, this is weird about you. Because Dan Campbell, as a macho guy, in-your-face guy, which seems to be the type of coaches you like, is that. Now, why don't you like him?
Because Dan Campbell single-handedly lost the NFC Championship game for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he did.
For his in-game decisions.
Look where he got that team. Were you expecting the Lions to be this good this early?
No, and I would put him in the top 10. But to put them as the number 2 coaching staff.
Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator. No complaints there. Defensive coordinator is Aaron Glenn. He's done a pretty good job, too.
The coaches are the main reason why they didn't win the NFC.
You don't think the Lions are better than the Eagles, do you?
I don't. I don't think the Lions are going to be better than the Eagles.
Interesting. Los Angeles Rams, 3. Sean McVay, Mike LaFleur, Chris Shula. 2 sons.
Hard to argue. McVay's a good coach. I don't know if I'd put him above. It's hard to say that the 49ers should be ranked above because they got a new DC now.
49ers at 4.
Yeah. But I'm okay with the top.
DC is Nick Sorensen. Kyle Shanahan, of course, the head coach and offensive coordinator. And we get to number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Do you have a problem with that?
No. I don't. And there's a prime example of a CEO coach. I mean, Dan Campbell's a CEO coach. That's why I think it can work with Sirianni. John Harbaugh's been a CEO coach his entire career.
Okay, 610-632-0975. We were talking TV during the break. We were talking TV. Who would you, if you had to name the best character ever in TV? I would like to hear a quick list off the top of your head.
You talking to me?
Talking both of you, Ray and Bill.
The one I enjoyed the most. Kramer from Seinfeld.
Kramer from Seinfeld would be your top character.
Yes.
Okay. That's a pretty good character.
This is tough.
I go more like drama.
Yeah, I'm going more
for this. So to me, it's between two people.
So you and I are both rewatching unbelievable series right now. You're rewatching The Sopranos.
I'm rewatching The Sopranos. You're rewatching The Wire, which is my favorite show of all time.
So
I think it's the best show of all time.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
My wife had never seen it, so we're watching it. There's some great characters in The Wire.
Yeah, but most people are out there going, well, Walter White.
White
has to be your top character of all time. Now, I've got Omar Little as my best character of all time.
Omar's great. Bryan Cranston did a good job though.
But I could name in my top 10. I probably have 4 from The Wire.
Yeah, they're all good. There's so many good characters there. And then in The Sopranos, obviously, you got a ton of great characters.
Well, there you go. Tony Soprano, Walter White. Most people would have those guys ranked ahead of Omar.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
They would, but Omar, and as soon as he came on the screen for the first time in The Wire, I said to my wife, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. And she's starting to see it now.
All right, let's stay with we're goofing around now. So people, if you don't be afraid to call about the Phillies or even the Eagles at 610-622-0975. This is goof around time. It's Friday. It's like coming into the last half hour, so we're goofing around. All right, so if you had to name the top 5 characters of The Sopranos, who would you go with in order?
Oh, well, Tony's got to be number 1.
All right, Tony's 1. Who would be your number 2 in The Sopranos?
Oh, this is hard, man, because I love Silvio.
Yeah, it's not even hard for me.
Yeah, let me hear yours because I'm rethinking this through my
Paulie Walnuts.
Paulie Walnuts is a great one.
Is number 2.
I love Adriana.
You do?
Loved her growing up.
What?
She's such
as a character.
Such an Italian broad.
Not as a character, but I loved her growing up. I thought she was so hot when I was in high school.
See, I did not. That's not my type at all.
But no, she's not one of the best characters, but I did love her. Yeah, Tony, Paulie, Silvio. I liked Bacala a lot, too.
All right, Bobby Bacala. Okay. I can roll with Bobby Bacala.
You know who started to crack me up in that show was Uncle June.
Uncle June is my absolute third best character.
Uncle.
There's nobody that goes ahead of Uncle June.
And it's a shame she passed away. Tony's mom was phenomenal.
Oh, she's my 4th.
Yes. You know what was weird, though? She dies.
I gave my life to my children on a silver platter.
It's a shame, though, that she dies in real life, and then they did that whole weird digital scene.
She was in a show that when I was a kid I loved. Lou Grant.
Never saw it.
I don't remember that show, but you remember the show that Ted Baxter was on, right, with the Mary Tyler Moore?
Before my time.
No, you know that show. It's like you don't have to even have seen it to know what it was. It's like one of the all-time shows. I forget what it was called. Was it called the? You know, he was Ted Baxter was the anchor man, the crazy anchor man on the news channel.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what show it is. Was it the
Mary Tyler Moore show?
Oh, what's called the Mary Tyler Moore show?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Really?
I mean, I know
you never heard of it?
I know it existed.
I'm a lot older than you, so I get it. But that's ranked as a high. But Lou Grant character in that ran the TV station. But before that show, he was a newspaper editor.
Gotcha. Now there's a show you and I have never talked about off air that I'm not sure you ever watched, but another great character, Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders.
I didn't watch Peaky Blinders.
Oh, Mike. You got to watch it.
I started watching it, and it didn't.
You need subtitles.
It didn't hit me.
You need subtitles because they speak that.
It's an Irish brogue, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to understand.
Yeah, so I didn't go.
Oh, it's such a good show.
I started to watch it, and it's not doing it. 610-632-0975, back after this. Come to the home stretch and Mike Missanelli show for our second week together. I always like to take inventory. I've done this kind of my whole career on how we're doing as a show. Self-evaluation is a good thing, but evaluation by the people is even better. So how we doing so far in 2 weeks? If you got any thoughts about that, and you're calling about other stuff, just throw a comment in there. I'd like to see this happen more, or I'd like you to stop doing this. It's always good to check in with the people.
I like that idea.
How do you think we're doing, Ray?
I think we're doing great, but I'm
so?
biased.
Yeah, you're biased.
Yeah,
how we doing, Bill? We doing all right? Sometimes I don't know. I know.
You and I haven't really agreed on much, but other than that, I think it's been good.
I think that's been really good that we don't agree, because I'm always here to educate.
I just don't listen.
The story of my life, that I'm here to educate the people.
Try to educate.
Including you. All right, let's go to Mo in Maryland. What's up, Mo? Are you panicking or not?
No, Mike.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No,
Mo, how you doing, by the way?
I'm good, Mike. I want to say that, first of all, this is my first time talking to you. I started listening to you in the 90s when I was in grade school, and you were coming on in midday, and I would sneak this radio into school and turn you and Steve on.
Oh, my God. I don't know if that's good or it makes me feel like ancient. But go ahead.
Mike, I'm not that old, Mike. I'm only 45.
Okay. Well, you're telling me that I'm old. I get it.
And I also, to give you a grade, I think you guys are doing very well. I don't listen to the other station no more during this time, so that's a good thing, right?
That's an excellent thing. I appreciate it. Spread that word. I want to see. I want to see good ratings for this show.
So do I. So what I'll say about the Phillies, I agree with you. I play baseball. I've coached baseball. There's nothing really a manager can do. When you're hitting, it's not the manager. It's not really the coaches. It's just you're deciding to be more disciplined, to pay more attention at the plate. My only concern with the Phillies, I know you mentioned the stats on the breaking balls. They are missing a lot of fastballs, especially Stott and Harper. They're fouling them off. They're swinging and missing. You got to hit that fastball. And even when they're getting fastballs, they're not hitting them.
Yeah, I get it. But see, right now, to reverse this whole thing, you got to sit on breaking stuff. The statistics are telling you that you got to sit on breaking stuff. Now, there's going to be time when that reverses. Once you start hitting breaking stuff early, then they're going to reverse on you because they have all these advanced scouts on how guys are swinging.
No, I agree. So what I would do, they have to run the course because what you do now in August, what you do in September has nothing to do with what you would do in October. Just ask the Braves.
I totally agree, and I think the Phillies will play a lot better in September. This is a really tough time of the year where guys start hitting a wall, pitchers start hitting a wall, but then they get a second wind. I've seen second wind all the time in baseball. That's why I'm not worried. Well, and I will trust this team as being a good team until it's time not to trust them. And now's not the time not to trust them.
Well, hopefully tomorrow we find out if Ranger Suarez is healthy.
Yeah, I think Ranger's going to come back, give them a big lift. But to me, it's really the offense at this point. Eric's calling from South Carolina. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Eric, I love that state, by the way. I love South Carolina.
Well, yeah, I'm from Philly. I've just been down here for about 8 months, man.
Okay.
I just keep you guys on incessantly every day because it makes me feel like I'm riding down broke.
No, I appreciate that. Where are you in South Carolina?
Columbia.
Okay. All right. That's an action college town, man.
Yes, it is.
You're not liking it. I don't see the enthusiasm in your voice here.
No, I'm not liking it.
All right. No, I think you'll get used to it. I like South Carolina. I could retire down there.
Hey, look, you want to know something, Mike? I actually ran into Dawn Stelly.
Did you really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she told me that I was getting used to it, but I don't know. But yeah, Mike, I called in about the Phillies, man. I think I'm panicking right now. I agree with Bill, 100%. I'm panicking right now because I feel like we hit our peak, Mike. I feel like we hit our peak. And we're not getting the hitting that we need. And when this team don't hit, they're terrible.
I agree. I don't know that they hit their peak though. But do you believe they're a good team? Do you believe they have good players? Well, then on really good players, like They don't go down. They're not like all 38 years old. They're still in the prime of their career. So I don't think they've hit their peak. I don't think this team has hit their peak. It's just a matter of getting back on an offensive run, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I hope so, Mike. Them backs got to come alive.
All right, man.
I also called about. I wanted to share my opinion on the top 5 TV characters.
All right, go ahead. Who do you have?
I got Tony Soprano. I got Cersei Lannister. I also got Tyrion Lannister. I got Jon Snow, and I'll throw in Walter White for good measure.
So you got 3 Game of Thrones guys in there.
8 Game of Thrones guys.
I have Game of Thrones. That's usually not my wheelhouse, that kind of show. But I watched it because everybody raved about it, and so I watched it. And I got to say, the way it was done was brilliant. And it's in my top 5 now. Even though the subject matter of it doesn't interest me that much.
Yeah, no, you hear about, it's dragons in this crazy world, but it was good.
It was so well done. I mean, it was just...
But it ended terribly. The last season was terrible.
Yeah, it did.
That's what makes it so difficult, because I went back and rewatched it, and it's hard to rewatch it knowing it's going to end so bad.
It was such an amazing production.
It really
the whole
was.
thing.
It was. Jon Snow was a good character. Now, you know what show we've never talked about either? You ever seen Succession?
I loved it.
Great show.
I've said Succession is the best written show ever.
I agree. And those characters are all great, but you don't really like any of them. Although I love Tom.
There's no redeeming value to any of them. But the writing on it was just I love good writing, and I love the writing on that show.
Yeah, that is a
so
phenomenal
snappy.
show. It's a shame it ended.
Yeah. I got a show for people to watch that I've been watching lately that intersects with history, political history in this country, called Media Spies, and how the Mafia Spies, and how the Mafia was intertwined with the CIA.
Yeah, I got to watch
during
this
the
one.
time of the Cold War with Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis and all that stuff. It's really interesting, and you'll learn some stuff. Mike in Jersey, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good to hear you on the air again, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
So everyone's pretty much I'm doing calls for the characters. Everyone's picking the obvious ones that I would pick for drama. I lean more towards drama with my TV shows anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go a little comedy, a little off the beaten path here for some of my characters. Homer Simpson, great character, whether you watch The Simpsons or not, but just
I'm not an animation guy.
Yeah, I'm normally not either, but Simpsons is like the one exception I've always had. And then Marty Funkhauser from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Pretty good character. That's a really good call by you.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I loved him. I do have one for drama for not Walter White, but I don't know his name in real life, but the guy who played Mike with the bald head who hated Walter White.
Yes, the guy. Yeah, that guy, Jonathan Banks.
Yes. Oh, great.
Yeah,
great
he was a great character.
And Walter.
Let me test your knowledge about this. Jonathan Banks, back in the day, was in 2 Eddie Murphy movies.
Okay. Harlem Nights.
Nope.
Then I'm not going to get the other one.
Well, he was in 48 Hours.
Oh, wasn't he the police chief?
He was the cop that got shot on the steps.
Oh, who's the chief? I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Axel.
And,
right? He's in Beverly Hills Cop.
And he was in Beverly Hills Cop. Is this the man who ruined the buffet at the Harlow Club? He was the guy that ruined the buffet when Eddie Murphy threw him across the buffet.
Oh, geez, man, I would have never got that.
Yeah, that's
right.
Jonathan
Right.
Banks.
To me right now.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Banks.
All right, I won't keep you too long. Just with the Phillies, I have one concern. At whatever reason, this lineup has the unbelievable ability to all go cold at once. So when postseason comes, that's the only thing I'm scared of. I'm not worried about the pitching.
Yeah, but look at it this way. Since they're all cold at once now, maybe in the playoffs they won't be.
Well, yeah, that's true. Let's get it out of the system, but that's my concern. Anyway, good to hear you guys. Take care.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Let me ask you a question since you brought up Succession.
Yeah.
If you had a choice of the Roys, which Roy character was the best? Would it be Kendall Roy? Would it be Logan Roy? Would it be Connor Roy? Would it be Siobhan Roy or Roman Roy? Which Roy would you like?
My favorite Was Roman.
Your favorite was Roman.
Yeah, Culkin's brother, Macaulay Culkin's brother.
You like he was
cracked me up.
Probably was. Kendall Roy was phenomenal.
He was good.
He was so good.
Yeah, he like you can't like.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin was good in a quirky way, but for theatrical reasons, I mean, come on, Kendall Roy, that Jeremy Strong was just unbelievable.
And the character arc for him, be able to kind of bounce back from all the different ways that he started to go in the story.
Yes. Now let me ask you another question, Bill. Since you're a hot-blooded male. Siobhan.
Didn't do it for me. Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't do it for me.
How about you, Ray?
I'll disagree with you on
as
that
a
one.
redhead, Ray is a redhead like Siobhan.
Yeah, I didn't find her attractive.
I'll disagree with you on that one.
I think she was attractive. She was a bit doughy, but I think she was attractive.
Now, Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran, who plays Roman Roy.
Yeah.
He was the little kid who pees the bed in the first Home Alone.
Yes, that was Macaulay's brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Called
but
range.
you know who is
Range, Bill.
You know
Big
who might have been
Roy.
the best character of all in Succession was Cousin Greg.
I like Tom the best.
You like Tom
too.
better than Cousin
Tom
Greg?
cracks me up.
Tom was really
like
good.
when they go for the bachelor party. I think that's one of the funniest episodes.
Yeah. Let's go to Eddie in media. Eddie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Eddie.
Hey, I like Siobhan McGurl, the Channel 10 lady that does reporting.
I don't know who you're talking about. I have no idea who you're talking about. So, but
She's new
if
in
it
town.
works for you, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't want. I stopped watching local news. I think. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's on the air anymore.
You get it online.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, you said the Phillies are out of breath or something. You said they got to get their breath back. Well, they better do it quick, man, because
I just think it's
left.
I just think it's a lull in the season for them.
It's a pretty long lull.
I
It's been a
trust.
long lull, man.
Yeah, but I trust good teams. See, when you put together a team, you go, "That's a good team," right? Like you look at the Phillies and go, "They're not a good team." That's a good team. So if I have a good team, then I go, "Okay, well, then until they prove me wrong, I'm going to believe in them."
Yeah, if they got a rough road ahead at Kansas City, then Houston, and then the Braves again. What if they don't do so well against these next?
Well,
three
it might alter my view.
Yeah.
Right now, losing 2 or 3 of the Braves does not alter my view.
Okay, let me get to my point. I called to welcome you back because I've been a long-time listener. I listened since the 90s. I've gone through everything with you, both stations. And but what I noticed, today's show was great. What I noticed about this guy, Bill and Ray, they don't kiss your ass, which is good. And and they'll argue with you, but they do it in a good way, Yes. So, because you can't agree with you all the time. That gets boring. So
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It just so happens that we have a varied enough views where it makes for a better conversation.
Right.
Bill is
right.
genuinely on the other side of the argument. We don't orchestrate any arguments. Bill is genuinely on the other side, which makes for a really good dynamic.
Yeah, because there was a few
Which is another way of
people
saying Bill is totally misguided.
I knew that was coming.
But you would be wrong, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who these guys are, but I'll get to know them because I no longer have 94.1 on my dial. I got you guys.
Yeah, well, don't erase that.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Eddie.
All right.
All right, brother.
All right, man. You got.
So we may need to have that as a sound drop, Ray, that the best thing about Bill and Ray, they don't kiss your ass.
Hey,
That is
the worst thing said about me.
Yeah.
I have had a really serious problem with most of my life with people not kissing my ass. I don't understand. I have no idea why that doesn't happen more often. Really? Let's get Aaron on a cell. Aaron, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Aaron.
Michael, how you been, buddy?
What's up, Aaron?
I must have a couple characters, but I think of an idea for your show with two. You should pick a subject and one be prosecutor and one be the defense, and then take 12 calls as a jury and see who wins.
Yeah, we might do
idea.
that. I think we have something like that planned, actually.
I'm sorry to jump on your thing. It just seems like a natural.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I got two closing arguments now. Well, you heard two closing arguments on the Phillies, Aaron. Who's got the better argument if you're the jury?
Oh, you do.
Ah, yes, sir.
Yeah, but you already knew what he was going to say. It's
I
on the
didn't know
board.
what he was going to say.
It says he's not
I
panicking.
didn't even look at that. I just looked at Aaron. I didn't see the other part.
Mike, since Moby Dick was a guppy, I definitely know where he's from.
So
Anyway.
why aren't you panicking, Aaron?
No, I'm not panicking. I mean, I mean, the team goes as Harper and Schwarber and the big guns go, and Harper's obviously like missed his groove. He'll find it, and once he starts hitting, it trickles through the lineup. And you know,
Now, Aaron, let me throw this your way because it's been suggested that Harper looks the way he does now because he's hurt, he's worn out, whatever it is. He's got a physical problem. Do you see that in Harper?
No.
Okay.
He still has that violent, nasty swing that he always has. He's just he's in a slump. I mean, look at the guy. Look at the guy last night, Olsen for the Braves. Last year had 54 home runs. He's at 20. Players go through slumps. I mean, it happens. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking until it gets till the fall leaves start cracking, Mike. I'm not panicking.
I hear you, brother. All right, Aaron. I appreciate it. I'm looking at the lineup last night. Again, they didn't do what I wanted because they got behind. Arcia was allowed to be unfettered last night, even though he struck out twice. And that would have been, from a dugout perspective, that would have been, right? He struck out twice. And then they did nothing to Kelenic as a pinch hitter. Well, they wound up striking him out. But Kelenic didn't play,
You agree that the way the game set up, they really couldn't do anything. Even if they were planning on doing something.
The way it transpired, no. They couldn't have. But Adam Duvall with 3 hits last night, including a bomb. And he had a little chopper hit, didn't he? Last night, did he have a chopper hit?
I think he did. Any home runs jumping out at you today? You going 2 for 2?
I haven't even looked at the home run line here. Let me just they call that up. Let's see what we got here.
While you're pulling that up, the line does not look good for the Phillies tonight.
No, I in fact, I should, as I call this up, I should place a bet on Kansas City. But I won't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to jinx them tonight.
But here's the interesting thing is they think there's going to be a lot of runs tonight.
Really?
It's at a 9.5 is the over.
Taiwan?
Yeah, they're expecting Walker to get rocked.
Yeah. Well,
which
that goes both ways, though.
What do you mean? You think that they think the Phillies lineup's going to wake up tonight?
Could be.
Yeah. Unless they think it's going to be a 9-2 game.
For the top 6 home run odds are Royals.
Oh, they are?
Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt, MJ Melendez, and Hunter Renfroe.
What do you got the Phillies at? What's the first Philly?
First Philly, Schwarber has the shortest odds for a home run. But
what is it?
For the next 5, 350.
Oh, that's pretty good odd. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Schwarber tonight.
If Schwarber hits a dinger tonight.
I think Schwarber hits a home run tonight off of Michael Wacha.
Is this enough for me to go deposit back into the account?
Listen, you guys do what you want. I can only spread the knowledge so far with you. The fact that you didn't take Adam Duvall last night was $20 for $20. You're crying out loud. Add 20 more.
That's
to your,
a little rich
you
for my
add
blood.
20 more to your account, Ray.
I'm not putting 20 more in.
How do you not make that bet last night? Seriously.
No unit
$20
here. $20 a little
disgrace. Both of you.
What about this first inning?
I don't play that stuff.
Over 0.5 runs.
First.
Minus 132.
No.
You know Walker's given up a run in the first inning.
Schwarber is the top odd. He's the favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you said the first 4 were
for the first 6.
Oh, for the first 6. Schwarber is plus 380. He's most likely. That's a solid bet. Plus, and the Royals are not going to hit a home run tonight. I think the Royals will win the game, not hit a home run. I got Kyle Schwarber, bomb, at plus 380.
Before we get out of here, Mike,
yes.
one question for you. There's going to be 3 Phillies games before we're back on the air together.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything that could happen in the next 3 that would bring you over more to the panic
No, they're going to lose 2 of the next 3.
What if they get swept?
Maybe. It is if they get swept by Kansas City, you might hear me press the pedal a little more.
Well, hopefully they get it right. And this is the moot point on Monday.
All right, stay tuned. You got Tommy Alford with Ricky Batalico.
No, Andrew DeCecco today.
Oh, Andrew DeCecco?
Yes.
With Ricky Batalico?
Yeah, should be a great show.
All right, stay tuned for that. That's next. Thanks for listening, everybody, this week. We'll be back at you next week with the Mike Missanelli Show. Take care. Good night.